All right, how you doing, Mizzou fans? Missouri and Tennessee on the field at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. That game is on SEC Network. I am Gabe DeArmond, and we're gonna add in. There you go. Is Mitchell Forde? Mitch, what's up, man? Can you hear us and everything good?
I can hear you all. Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah. So,
All right. Good stuff.
all right, we're just gonna hang out here and watch the game with you guys this week. Basically, you guys, look, we can't broadcast it. We can't have the audio, all that. So we've got the game up on another screen, and we're gonna watch. We're gonna offer some comments and some thoughts. But look, this is not going to be like a live play-by-play. Nobody wants to listen to us do that for 3.5 hours or however long this game takes. We need comments from you guys. Hopefully, you're watching on a screen, whether you're hearing us, whether you're listening to the broadcast and just have us up on a screen to comment, whatever. But as this game goes along, we will have a ticker running across the bottom of the screen here with other scores from the SEC. The only other score or the only other game that actually is going to be going on at the same time is South Carolina and Florida. I will update that. Then, when things happen in the Missouri game, there you go. See, scoring play will run across the screen with however each team manages to score. So we've previewed this one as long as we can. Not a whole lot else to say. Mitch, what's up, man?
Not too much. I'm excited to be with you. Excited to bring everyone our brilliant insights that usually only the press box gets to hear during games.
Right.
Hopefully our streams aren't too far out of sync. I think that's my main concern. There's definitely a chance I'm like a minute behind you, but yeah, we'll do our best.
Yeah, that is one thing that I forgot to say that I told everybody last week. Certainly, we're all kind of watching this different ways. Some of you are probably watching on cable TV. If you are, last week, a lot of you guys were a full play and a half ahead of me. That's fine. It's not going to wreck my day or Mitch's day if you guys comment and we know the next play is going to be a touchdown. That's whatever. That's cool. So, if you guys are a little ahead of us, our analysis, our thoughts, whatever, may be a little behind, and that's fine. But basically, here's what we're going to do. As you can see, just as the game goes along, we're going to add your comments. And again, it's SEC Network. Look, if you haven't found it by now, um, yeah, I'm sorry, but you don't care that much. Missouri kicking the ball off. And again, for some of you guys, you already might know what happens. Touchback, Tennessee might be under center. For me, Tennessee's offense is coming out on the field. I don't know where we stand as far as syncing up, Mitch.
Yeah, I'm seeing a nice little graphic about Jarrett Garantano. I'll let you know when he snaps the ball.
Yeah, we're pretty even then. You and
Yeah.
I are. So okay, well this is interesting. Jelani Williams in on the first snap. I wonder who that
Really?
means is
Wow.
not in for Missouri. So
And ball just
we'll
got
see if
snapped
we
for
can
me.
see that.
Penalty. Okay. Well, I see Josh Bledsoe, so it must be Gillespie. I would have to think.
No, Gillespie's on the field. I see Gillespie. He was clapping. Oh no, sorry, that's Martez Manuel. So yeah,
Yeah. Jeff Coat out there.
Trajan Jeffcoat starting in
Yeah.
place of.
I don't know. Now I'm buffering, so that's not ideal.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll my stream last week held up pretty well. We'll see how it goes. False start for Tennessee on the first snap there, but yeah, we'll just kind of try to tell you. Yeah, it appears that Tyree Gillespie is not out there, and that's a big deal for Missouri because
Yeah.
he was, if not the best player, the second best player on defense last week. So Jeff Coat looks like he's
Jeff
in
Coat looks
for.
like he's in for Trey Williams, I think, unless Trey's on the other side. I couldn't tell there actually.
That was almost an amazing catch, but yeah, it's really hard trying to find numbers on TV because they keep going away. We have the all 22 view all game usually, and now I
Yeah.
can't see what I want to see. There you go. Looks like Cal says that was Innis Rakestraw in the coverage there. So nice play by the freshman. This is Manuel down here at the bottom of the screen. And that's Adam Sparks in the
Sparks
slot.
is in the slot, yeah, and looks like, yeah, Yeah, it is.
That was
It's very different when they cut away the different stuff between plays showing individual players. That's usually when I do all of my personnel watching, kind of between plays. But it
right. Yeah,
appears
that
as
was
though
okay. Here,
yeah,
well,
Isaiah. It looks like Isaiah McGuire and Trajan Jeffcoat got the start at the two sort of end positions, with Jeffcoat at that outside linebacker spot
and
and
I saw Devin
McGuire.
Nicholson at linebacker. The SEC Network is currently listing Tyree Gillespie's out there now. Like that's
Yeah,
him
he's
as the
now in.
deep safety.
He's in the game.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say that Jelani Williams wasn't on the field for that first play. I don't know. This is gonna be an interesting spot though, because
I think he's
I
short.
thought he was short. Where he actually had possession, but we'll see where they spot the ball. You guys probably already know. That's really close. That was Sparks there. Yeah, there's Gillespie. So I haven't look. Good for Jeremy Pruitt going for it on 4th and 1 from his own 34-yard line. That's what coaches should do.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
I don't know why more coaches don't do that, honestly. Yeah, I'm aware Jelani's number 4. I just haven't. Oh, there he is.
And now he's out there again. Yeah, I mean,
he's out there. But Bledsoe is also out there, and Martez Manuel has been out there. So I think he's just getting playing time.
He was in place of Gillespie. I wonder if either Gillespie is a little banged up and they want to decrease his reps, or what. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If he's healthy enough to play, he's a guy who should be out there every play, just about.
Maybe he was suspended for the first snap of the game.
Maybe, but now it's Williams again in place of him. So
that's interesting.
That is strange, and definitely something we will try to ask on the post game Zoom. Yeah, not sure how transparent they'll be about that, but
definitely something though that's intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tennessee's up about midfield. Missouri's making them work for it, but again, the 3rd down, the 4th down, little bit of an issue so far.
It looks like, to me, I think I've seen Jeffcoat in there in place of Trey Williams on every play this drive. So
yeah,
it looks like he's basically the starter there. I'm sure they'll do some rotating.
I'm going to give you warning. He's about to make a play.
Oh yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, Trey. Look, I mean, again, I don't know if it's good for Trajan Jeffcoat that he has come back playing the way he has, but I don't think you want your best pass rusher to be a guy who hasn't played football in a year, right?
Really what it comes down to is they need to get more out of, I mean, basically the interior of the D-line, we'll call it, with those kind of 3 defensive tackle spots, essentially, since they're kind of running more of a 3-4 spot, that those guys were more or less invisible last week.
Yeah, it looks like it's been Utsey and Whiteside, and Josh Bledsoe. Is that Bledsoe's wearing number 1 this year?
It is.
He got beat on that deep ball. Yeah, that was a nice throw by Garantano. 3rd down, though. 3rd and 7. Yeah, it was Bledsoe on the coverage, and then Jelani Williams a little late getting over, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Rakestraw.
I mean, that's pass interference, but it's also 7 feet over his head. So
right, if it was a better throw, they probably get him on that one. Yeah.
So at this point now, you're hoping to hold to 3. I mean, yeah, turnover would be great, but you're hoping to hold to 3. That looks like the Neyland Stadium I've seen a couple times. That crowd.
It's over 25,000. That's actually, I mean, that's, I think we've covered a game or two in the past few years where by halftime there were 25,000 people in the stands.
Chris Turner on the field, Trey Williams, Darius Robinson, all out there. So it looks like they're moving a lot of guys in and out on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Utsey's still in there, so no Kobe Whiteside right now. So 4th and 1, I'll be interested to see if Pruitt goes for it again.
Looks like he will.
He should.
Yeah.
He got it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're doing better on third down. Fourth down, not maybe not as much.
No, and now I've now seen how this drive ends.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so
yeah, we'll get
we'll
there
see
as
what
we see
happens.
it.
I know Tennessee's going to score. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Is that Ty Chandler? Yeah, 3-yard run. So Tennessee on top first. Good. I mean that's just a good drive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Two fourth down conversions. They really, I mean, they kind of did anything they wanted to. Got the long completion and then ran the ball fine. No negative plays. Definitely gonna need to keep an eye on the Mizzou secondary. I mean, there was that one long completion and then there was a guy open on another one. So yeah.
Yeah, not like one big play. Other than that, like the Missouri defense was fine. They just couldn't make the one play that they had to make. So that's kind of an issue. Offensive and defensive lines are going to be the biggest barriers to success this year. I mean that's true, and that's why I think we've been skeptical to pessimistic about this team, because those are the two spots that you just can't really afford to not be good.
No, you're 100% right. It's really, probably the three biggest question marks coming into this season were O-line, D-line, and quarterback. And in the SEC, those are probably the three most important position groups on the field. I mean, yeah, you can't get dominated at the line of scrimmage. And in any league in football right now, you have to have a quarterback. So, I think, I don't know. I think there's a chance the defensive line, could get it going at some point. Tennessee's offensive line is legit. I mean, they've got 5 stars all over that line. But they're still, I mean, Mizzou does not want to get into a game where they're, giving up touchdowns on every possession, obviously, because this offense is probably not built to score a ton of points.
I don't know where you guys are going to get analysis like that, but don't give up touchdowns on every drive would be an excellent starting point. I think
you can't win the game if the other team scores every time, unless you score every time.
If you score every time and go for 2, I guess you could win.
That is high-level stuff.
Jumped out, scored on its opening drive, 7-0 over Florida. So
nice.
That's something. We're still in commercial. So Eric says the run defense didn't look very good. I thought there weren't any long runs on that drive, right? They got 3 or 4.
Weren't. I mean, there were a few, 4 or 5 yard runs. It was more just getting the yardage they needed to on, 4th and short, basically.
Right.
So
there were no negative plays.
Right. Yeah, and Mizzou didn't get any. Well, they got the 1 sack, but it was only a loss of 1.
All right. So Keegan wants to know the pregame meal. Look, man, I advertise my pregame meal all pregame show. Burger, smokehouse bacon, eggs, tater tots, excellent meal. So I would recommend that for all morning games. And then JDL wants to know the Boulevard of the week for the post game. Like, you got to tune in, man. We can't give that away. Like, we got to hold something back for you. So what'd that take? About 4:59. So 14 plays, 75 yards. I mean, that's if they can do that, you're beat. If they can do that consistently, and remember that started with a false start. Like, that wasn't a flawless drive by Tennessee.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. It started with a false start, and there was a sack in there. So
had a sack, got themselves at one point in 3rd and 7. Beatty fair catches it. I always forget that's a thing you can do.
Yeah, same. Also, it was funny earlier in the week when Drinkwitz said, we had the 1 bad return, and then I made them fair catch all the rest. I wonder if that's still a mandate. Looks like Beatty's starting the game at tailback instead of Roundtree.
That doesn't show a lot of confidence. That's got to just be a formation play they want to run thing.
Now Roundtree's right back in.
Yeah. Oh, see, your stream's definitely ahead of mine then.
Well, so yeah, okay. So I had my TV pulled up and we were about the same, and it started buffering a lot. So I now have an iPad separately with the stream as well, but I also have it on the TV. So I'm basically watching the same game about a minute apart on two
Oh,
different screens and talking to you. It's a bit much.
excellent. Okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm basically rolling with the iPad at this point because the TV is buffering like every 10 seconds, which
Okay.
is not ideal. And then it'll skip back to about where you are, but then I just don't see the play that happened, which
Okay. So, yeah, Roundtree, Robinson, Case Cook, Bobby Lawrence, saw Parker out there, Xavier Delgado at left guard, Mayetti at center, Larry Borum right tackle. I think that hit most of the line. Yeah, I would be perfectly happy watching this team if Larry Roundtree got like 37 carries a game. I think it's
he's
their
fun to
best
watch
thing.
run for sure.
I
For
think
sure.
they're better at that than they are at anything else. Nico Hay in at tight end.
Yeah, I guess Eli Drinkwitz wasn't joking when he consistently said that really the only reason Zeke Powell started in week 1 was because he was available.
Yeah, honest to a fault at times.
Yeah.
That was a little bit like that. That 3rd and 2 was a little bit some of the Chiefs action where they motioned Jalen Knox into the backfield and then he ran around in that like Tyree Hill. It looks like he's just doing some
Yeah.
sort of pattern in the background.
Yeah, I actually, after the game last week and during the midweek stuff this week, had two different receivers, Knox and then Jacinto, talk to me about just how the motion and kind of the pre-snap stuff can both get them in position to get jet sweeps and stuff like that, which we just saw, or just be eye candy basically for the defense.
Daniel Parker got a nice block on that jet sweep, but at some point Jalen Knox has to cut that upfield. Like,
Yeah,
you're
for
gonna
sure.
run
You
out
got
of
to
room.
put your foot in the ground and try to get a few yards.
So appreciate you guys joining us again. Colin Gentry, law group in Jefferson City. Check them out at callgentry.com. Chip Gentry is one of the partners down there, personal friend of mine for a while. They'll take care of you guys, anything you need. So hopefully you don't need any legal advice here today or really ever. But if you do, take care of it with Colin Gentry. Sean Robinson, we haven't seen him break loose yet. Like, he's fast. I think he's pretty athletic, but we haven't really seen him get in a position where he can show it yet.
Yeah, and I kind of think on that last run, you maybe would like to see him just, kind of put the shoulder down and just push for a couple more yards instead of dancing at the point of the attack there at the line of scrimmage. I know you don't want your quarterback necessarily like taking a bunch of hits, but when there's not a lot of room, getting 4 yards instead of 2 can certainly help.
Yeah.
Looks like we're in a timeout here.
Robinson's got to snap that ball. When the Tennessee guy jumps across the line,
Yeah.
you've got to snap that and get a free play. Because that's what. And look, he hadn't played in 2 years. He's going to learn that.
And and he hasn't played with this center hardly at all. I think that's just something you learn as you get going.
That's when an NFL quarterback screams for the ball, gets it, and just throws it as far as he can to his fastest receiver.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is normally the time of the game where you get up and go to the nacho bar or whatever.
No, I saved that for the quarter breaks, maybe the halftime. That's why there was no halftime thoughts last week, because I was scrounging food. I won't get started about the food situation last week. It was poor.
Yeah, Stryker wanted to know when we get to see Robinson's famed running ability. I mean, to be fair, like, you have to have blocking. There wasn't exactly anywhere to go there, but Larry Roundtree going to be the most popular guy on this offense. Most of the comments are, why don't we just give the ball to Roundtree every play? I know you can't, but I kind of agree until he comes over and says I'm too tired for that.
Yeah, certainly like 3rd and 9 here, it's probably not going to happen. But yes, I do think, that this offense is going to always have elements of getting the ball out quickly on the edges, jet sweeps, throws to the flat, stuff like that. But let's not get too cute. Your best player is Larry Roundtree. Feed him the ball, and clearly at this point, I shouldn't say clearly, small sample size, but at this point, it looks like the offensive line is more comfortable blocking on kind of the inside zone and power runs than it has been successful on those plays that get out to the edge.
Again, guys, keep the comments coming. We're just we're kind of rolling them up. Some of them we'll respond to, some of them we won't. They'll be on the screen though. We appreciate y'all. Shout out your names when we can. Case, thanks for watching and for joining us. Like T-Rise says, Roundtree isn't the only good player on offense, but he is the best. At this point, certainly I agree. Like I think Damon Hazelton maybe, but Roundtree's the most proven guy in this uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Beatty's, he's a good playmaker, just not the every down guy that Roundtree is probably.
Yeah. They got that wide shot of this. I don't think people understand how gigantic that stadium is until you see it in person.
Insanely large.
It is.
And it feels like it's going to tip over into the river.
If you come up on the wrong side and have to walk around to get your press pass, it takes like 20 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Yep. All right, big play here, 3rd and 9.
So it looks like...
Oh, that was a bad read by Sean Robinson.
4 receivers and Nico Hay was at tight end. Yeah. So I'm assuming that means this is not going to be completed, but you're a good play ahead of me.
Yeah, it's a read option with I think it was Beatty at running back, and Robinson keeps and just goes nowhere. Bad read.
Maybe I need to get an iPad. Maybe that's the deal. Maybe those are faster.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin David, who's recently moved to Columbia and lent me his iPad.
Hey, Robinson lost a shoe too. So.
Yeah, he did.
Also, why are you running on 3rd and 9?
That's a great question. First of all,
even a handoff to Roundtree probably doesn't get 9, right?
Right. I wasn't in a position last week to feel like I could question play calling yet, but they did that twice on 3rd and long. They did a jet sweep to Knox, and then I think there was a quarterback run that neither got it. I would assume the strategy there is you're close to midfield. If you can get 5 or 6, you're going for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Garantano just got destroyed.
We also don't know what in an RPO, we don't know if maybe that's the quarterback's read,
True. Yeah.
So.
Gosh, I don't know who that was. I think it was Kobe Whiteside just came unblocked, and no, it was Jeffcoat and rocked Garantano, but got flagged for it.
We've got our first call for Connor Bazelak of the game, so.
I'm surprised it took
wait, that was a flag?
Yeah, I think so. Helmet to helmet.
Okay.
Targeting too. I think it's going to be reviewed.
I mean, if he's everybody. So I've got one person that says Jeffcoat likely out of the game and one person that says it's clean. So let's look at this on replay. That's not helmet to helmet on the first replay I saw. Now maybe there's a different angle that'll prove it. But by the way, also Ennis Rakestraw, nice play on that pass.
Mm-hmm.
He hits him in the chest. I don't think it's high, but it's not in the chin.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think he should be kicked out.
He didn't duck his. It didn't appear to me that he ducked the crown of his helmet, which I know is something they look for.
I don't think he should be out of this game. And I'm Case asking it wasn't a late hit. It's not about being late.
Exactly.
It's about whether it was too high. And look, I understand why that. I think it's probably always the right move to call it targeting live because you can reverse it.
Yeah, and I see now on Twitter that the targeting has been reversed, so that's a big break for Mizzou.
And that's the right call. That's not targeting. So there you go. It's going to be reversed. That was shoulder to. like I might even say throat, chest, maybe even throat.
Yes, I
But
think
it wasn't,
it's right in the upper chest, and he slid right up
yeah,
into the
it wasn't
helmet.
face mask though.
I
So
agree. Well, I think the big thing for Jeff Coat there is, he didn't go crown of the helmet into face mask.
right.
He was looking where he was hitting, which is
And
certainly one of the recipes there that they look for.
Stryker brings up a good point to where can you tackle a quarterback? Because in the Chiefs-Ravens
Oh,
game last week, they got flagged for hitting Lamar Jackson too low. Well,
yeah,
you can't, you
really, it
basically
is.
got to hit him between mid-thigh and chest.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
got to hit him right in the number. Basically, it is,
and if they move at
especially if
all,
you have an elusive quarterback, it's hard for sure.
yeah, if the quarterback ducks or something like that, I mean, at some point, yes, we want to protect quarterbacks, but you have to understand that this is football, and they have to understand the point of
Mm-hmm.
the, what they're getting into. All right, let's check. Florida has tied South Carolina 7-all. So, hey, yeah, that would have been bad news for Missouri if Trajan Jeffcoat was out there.
I mean,
Because
he's been
he's
far
had
and
a heck
away
of a
their most
quarter.
disruptive defensive lineman.
Yeah, and it's a shame. Like we probably won't talk to him all year.
Yeah, it is a shame. I mean,
which
yeah,
I understand. Sort
good
of.
story though. I mean, just cool in the fact that he was able to keep himself in such good shape after being out of football for a full year. So.
And a guy that really, like Ryan Walters was saying, and this is what I heard from the old staff, even when they were still here, everybody on the team really likes the kid. Like he was very popular in that locker room.
Said
I don't think
Walter
everybody
said players
could.
cried tears of joy when he came back on the team.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of them might have been Kobe Whiteside because there's actually a guy on the edge that can help him and give him some pressure now.
Mm-hmm.
The other one should have been the defensive backs.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we should just be in 2nd and 10, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah. Now
I'm sure we're in 1st and 10
now
or 3rd
well,
and something.
now well ahead of you.
But you realize when you do something like this, there's a lot of downtime in football.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Also,
actually
it's a
better
great-
for Missouri that that's a first down than if it's 3rd and 3 inches.
Well, yeah, except I mean things aren't going great for the Missouri defense. Like,
and like look, that's hang on. Yeah. I mean that's not bad coverage on that long pass, but Garantano
no,
threw a
it
really
was a
nice
good throw.
pass.
I mean, hit him right in stride. I think it was Rakestraw coming with him all the way across the field.
And how long can you ask a guy to cover, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. No, I mean that was just a good throw, and from a quarterback throwing from a clean pocket again, which is what we've seen a lot of this times, in these games against Missouri.
The guy was semi-open, but not by a ton. It's not like Rakestraw just got torched.
Yeah.
That was a nice play there by Adam Sparks.
A very, very good play by Adam Sparks. I'm having
Sparks-
to, so I'm kind of commenting from memory because I'm a good 2 plays.
You're
ahead
2
of
plays
now.
ahead now? That's interesting.
This iPad is unstoppable. It is the fastest stream.
Your iPad actually is telling the future.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
The TV I've basically given up on. It's worthless. My Fire Stick stream is always bad on the ESPN app, but especially when I'm trying to use other devices on the internet.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'm just watching on my laptop through Hulu, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee's starting to move guys off the ball too, running the ball. And look, if Missouri's not going to beat anybody, like what we said earlier, 38-35, but if Tennessee's going to go up and down the field on them, that's a really bad sign because this team needs the defense.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, this Tennessee offensive line is good, and Garantano, if he plays well, can be good. But yes, this is a team that needs to win games, something like 24-17, 2017 this season. And if Tennessee's marching up and down the field, that does not bode very well.
Yeah, and again, they're a solid team, but if I mean, look, we said this can't be 28-3 at halftime. like
No,
last week
absolutely
was.
not.
You've
Yeah.
got to compete in this game. You don't have to win it, but you've got to compete because Tennessee is at best the third best team in the division, and you need to be able to compete with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Was that Devin Nicholson a couple plays ago that
It
was hurt?
it
It must have been
was
because Cam Wilkins is
it
in the
was
game.
yeah. He jogged off, and it looks like Wilkins is in the game now.
I was interested. Wilkins played most of the second half last week.
He
And
did, and
then,
he played well.
yeah, and
Looks
Ryan
like
Walters
JC.
said that
Looks like
Nicholson.
JC Carlisle's into the game.
Okay. He played a little bit last week.
He did, not this soon though. Yeah, we've got
No, it was
Carlisle's
second
in at
half.
corner, and I can't tell.
Burdine's at a corner. That's Bledsoe and Gillespie in the back, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good play there, but I think it was either Gillespie or Manuel to tackle Ty Chandler to get him out of bounds short of the first down. So Mizzou gets off the field.
This is kind of interesting seeing all these comments and then trying to figure out like what play they're talking about because
it was Nick Bolton on that play.
I'm a good 45 seconds or so behind, which is fine, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Tennessee might be keeping its offense. No, sorry, field goal. Okay. 39-yard field
I
goal.
wouldn't have hated going on 4th and 6.
The field goal is not even close. It might have been tipped.
Okay. All right. So again, just rolling through some of these comments and maybe that's why Jeremy Pruitt will go for it in the future, I guess. I'm interested. All the comments, I'm really interested to see how much this misses by. Oh, it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. He basically just kicked it to. That's like me when I line up for the slice and I don't hit it.
Yeah.
So I end up in the trees and I'm like, well, too bad. All right, so I mean, look, Missouri isn't dominated, but only down 7-0.
Oh, yeah, that was big to not give up any points on that possession. You would have been worried, obviously, if Tennessee had gone down and scored there. So yeah, not the end of the world.
Would you make a QB change now? No, 100% no.
It's still only been one possession.
Right? Yeah. I mean, let's see what I'd play Bazelak on the 3rd or 4th series of the game, like they plan to do. Although that little crossing route to Hazleton was going to get absolutely nothing done. Yeah,
and the quarterback run game has been a huge disappointment so far. I gotta say, Dawson Downing in the game. Oh, well, that was just offensive linemen missing blocks everywhere. Tell me when you get to the quarterback run game on the replay.
Well, I'm on 2nd and 10 now. I think I'm a full play behind you, but that's yeah. So I mean, Larry Borum just absolutely whiffed on the guy that came to get Robinson. Yes, Robinson maybe could have made the guy miss, but okay, so the problem on that run play, and I know we're going back here, but Case Cook was pulling. He didn't get there in time.
And he didn't get there.
And then Borum just blocked no one.
Yeah, the whole kind of right side of the line, not great there.
All right, everybody now is on Team Bazelak. Everybody wants Connor Bazelak in the game. Here's the deal,
that's kind of how it goes.
I mean, Bazelak can get the next drive. That's fine. And if he takes the team down the field, and by the way, that's not Sean Robinson's fault. Nico Hay dropped the ball.
Right. I still, though.
It's not perfect. They're not going to get the first down.
I got to bring up, I got to say, what is that play going to achieve on 3rd and 15?
Right. Especially to Nico Hay. Like, he's not breaking that many tackles.
Exactly. Even if that's caught, that's not getting more than 8 yards. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's,
that can't be the first
saying,
read there, right?
If it is, it's saying we don't trust our offensive line to block long enough for them to throw 15 yards downfield. But no, I don't know. It's so hard to say, with watching offenses these days with the quarterback has a lot of control over, RPOs and reads and stuff like that. But that play was never going to work. That was not a great drive.
So,
I'm not ready to bring in Bazelak, but that was not a good drive.
Look, I've forgotten how much that every play is a referendum on the quarterback because It's been a long time since we've covered football, right? So every play
it's also been a long time. So usually during a game, at least for me, I'm in the press box watching and doing the live thread. I'm not actually reading or hearing from these comments during the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, if they bring in Bazelak and he goes down the field on the next drive, then I'm fine. Keep him in. But also, so many people are giving Connor Bazelak's never scored a first half touchdown. Right? I mean,
no.
He didn't. He got hurt before he scored against Arkansas. Against Georgia, he played.
Actually, he didn't score. I think the team might have scored on one of his drives against Arkansas.
I mean, we'll see.
Remember that whole game. I try not to remember that game.
Right. This has less to do with me thinking Robinson is good or bad than just I'm just not sure why Bazelak is the second coming of Johnny Manziel. I don't know. Maybe he is, but
I think what it is always the backup quarterback syndrome. I mean, like he hasn't failed yet, and he's played so little and done all right. It's really quite common.
Yeah. What is Rakestraw's potential? I know it's early, but he looks good. He does look good. I mean, he made some plays there, and I've been impressed so far. You can tell why they liked him.
Yeah. Did you just see the third down play yet?
I've got the third down play coming up. Yeah. So
it was let me know when you're there. We'll talk. One thing I wanted to bring up.
Okay. Yeah, they're about to go. A little jet sweep.
Good play design. I don't understand why Tennessee got the extra 3 yards from fumbling forward. I thought you weren't supposed to get that when you're on offense.
I didn't even notice he fumbled.
Yeah, he fumbled and the other guy picked it up and they got 3 yards out of it. Not that really matters, but I thought that was a rule that you don't get these days.
Well, I think that's on fourth down.
Okay.
Because you can't intentionally fumble it to pick up a first down.
Yeah.
It's the holy roller Dave Casper play from 1978.
Right. Yeah, well before my time, but I know what you're talking about.
I mean, also mine. Look, I was 2. I don't remember that game. I've just read about it. I mean, Tennessee kind of doing what it wants. And
it really is.
This
has been a lopsided game so far.
This is the simple difference between getting 3 or 4 yards on first down and getting nothing on first down. Because once you're in second and 10, then you're in a rough spot. If you're in second and 7, you can do whatever. You can throw, you can run. You've got all kinds of options.
That's 100% right, especially for a team like Missouri where you're not super comfortable dropping your quarterback back into a 5-7 step drop.
Yeah.
It looks like, I'm just going to spoil it for you, it looks like Tennessee has a 4th and 1. No surprise, they're keeping the offense on the field.
Yeah, they should never punt. I mean, once you're across midfield, no team should ever punt. But also, what has Missouri done to prove that you can't sneak the ball or just hand off and get 2 feet?
Yeah, I mean, that was easy.
Okay.
I think certainly the biggest concern right now for Missouri has to be the line of scrimmage. They have just kind of gotten dominated, especially the defensive line. But yeah, the offense, you almost that's not a surprise, but the defensive line has been pretty well dominated.
Yeah. Other than obviously Trajan Jeffcoat has been pretty good, and on the pass rush, I'm not sure he's been exactly great, in run defense. But I haven't really noticed anybody who's been good on run defense.
No, I really haven't either. I mean, like you said, it's not like they've been breaking off huge plays, but they've been able to get 3 to 7 yards almost every time they run it. It seems like.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm basically going to live update these stats right now, Mitch. So it just, I have to do it on the screen. I'm going into the stat broadcast page. So I'm gonna be occupied. Oh, my total yardage 167 to 13.
Oof, that's not going to get it done.
It's not good. And I also want to tell people, like, this is totally my fault. I forgot during the week to get our graphic corrected because it says passing yards and then total passing yards. Total passing yards should be total yards. That is completely my fault. Missouri has 0 of those passing yards right now, so not great. Tennessee has 103. So, look, Tennessee dominated every single phase of that quarter. Like, Missouri's lucky to have it 7-0.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, the message right now on the sideline has to be like, all right, that was about as dominated, as bad as we could play for a quarter. We're only down 7. Like, you need to get it. We need to get it together before it's out of hand here and get a stop to start with.
Because this is now all 3 drives Tennessee has been in Missouri territory, right?
Oh yeah.
First downs are 9-1 in favor of Tennessee. Like, that was more dominant than Alabama was in the first quarter last week, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah. I mean, Alabama, it was only 7-0 in that game after the first quarter as well.
And they had a 3-and-out on their first drive.
Yeah.
Tennessee did not have one. Okay, so here, what you're seeing now is the updated first quarter stats. Yeah, Missouri, 13 total yards. Tennessee 167. Missouri 1 first down. Tennessee 9. And that's reflective of the game we saw, no question.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee is dominated, and Missouri needs to. Basically, Missouri's, like we said, lucky to be down 7, and they need to take advantage by, getting a stop and turning it around and saying, that was as bad of a quarter as we had, but we can deal with a 7-point deficit.
Yeah, Stryker brings up a pretty good point. Missouri has 800 senior defensive linemen, and the defensive line doesn't look good at all.
No, that's been the biggest takeaway for me. Aside from Trajan Jeffcoat, they've been just pretty much getting dominated at the line of scrimmage.
And I think it's fair to complain that, look, Larry Roundtree hadn't gotten the ball. Like, he didn't get the ball at all on that second possession. And whatever happens on this drive, like, the game's not over. You can't start thinking we have to throw every down. Missouri's next drive has to feature a lot of Larry Roundtree. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, like you said, is you gotta get yardage to start the drive. These first plays, and Missouri's been trying to. It's not like they've been dropping back to throw deep on first down, but the jet sweeps and the quarterback run game haven't been working. So go with what's working to get yardage on first down, because this offense is not built to come from behind the chains.
Right. And so Bryce Isbell says somehow Bama gave me false hope. How is that possible? Look, we said it all week. People were putting way too much stock into a fourth quarter where, frankly, Alabama, that game was over, guys.
That game
was totally over.
That game could have been 56-6.
Yeah, if Saban wanted it to be 52-10, it could very easily have been 52-10. There's no question.
A couple things here. I'm seeing on Twitter, according to Mizzou radio, Chris Gervino says on the sidelines to expect Connor Bazelak at QB next Mizzou possession.
Okay. Which
also,
first possession of the second quarter, I don't think that's a change, probably.
No, also there's a play here where it looks like a fumble that Missouri recovers, but it was ruled a fumble, but I think it's probably going to be reviewed. It looked like an incomplete pass to me.
That's an incomplete pass.
Would be huge for Missouri.
I mean, if it's there, if it stands and it's a recovery, they have the ball at the 31.
Doesn't matter anyway. There's a flag, and it looks like hands to the face on Missouri. So, and Martez Manuel is hurt.
Oh. So from really, really good so it was Nick Bolton that, if it's a fumble, forced it. It was Martez Manuel who picked it up. Who's the penalty on, do we know? I
I
mean, I
missed
know
that
it's
because
on
I
Missouri,
don't.
but
Yeah, I don't have the audio going, so I don't know. I just saw the hands to the face signal.
Manuel almost looks like he landed on the ball. Like, I don't want to speculate too much, but maybe like he just landed on the ball, is having a hard time catching his breath. Yeah, it doesn't look too serious. I mean, you could see when he sat down, he said, I landed on the ball.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's all it was. The ball was in his stomach. He landed straight on it. Probably had a hard time breathing. So, yeah, this is a good point people are bringing up. Why are we reviewing this if there's a penalty that's going to negate it?
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening, and honestly, without the audio, I don't really know what's happening at
Right.
all.
Yeah, that's the deal. We can't hear, guys. So,
Yeah, yeah, we can only hear each other. It looks like Stacey Brown will take Manuel's place, which isn't a huge surprise. Yeah, I don't know what we're reviewing, honestly. I have no idea.
right. Yeah. Okay, and apparently the announcers haven't said, so.
It appears as though Eli
They
Drinkwitz's
also don't
mask covers his entire face, including his eyes. It's kind of
Well, it looked
comical.
like a bandana in the last game.
Well, this time it's a mask, and it is really quite something. Yeah.
Well,
So
fortunately,
without
by
volume, I
having the
really
audio down, we're
honestly,
missing nothing.
yeah, I have no idea what really happened because I can't hear. But Tennessee will have the first and 10 at the 20. It looks like that's all I know.
At the 20, so that's got to have been a 15-yard penalty.
Yes.
I mean, Missouri's got to find a way to do that again. They got to get off the field, or just let that kicker
Oh,
kick again. Maybe, I don't know.
well,
It's not going
Tennessee
to happen.
touchdown.
Yeah.
That's number 3. I think that's Eric Gray, 30-yard untouched, 20-yard untouched touchdown. This is not a good start for Missouri.
Yeah. I mean that's about as poor an exchange as you can have if you're Missouri. It goes from, hey, maybe our ball at their 32 touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. So.
Well,
What's that? Okay, so yeah, 13-0 Tennessee, PAT pending. I'm going to assume they make this. 14-0 Tennessee. We are 16 seconds into the third quarter. Mitch, can you hear us yet? Can we hear you yet? Yeah, I don't know. Mitchell's audio is having issues, but we'll get it figured out, and I'll stick with you here. 14-0 Tennessee after the 20-yard touchdown run from Eric Gray, and I mean Missouri getting absolutely run all over. So Tennessee has 187 total yards. Missouri has 13. Missouri has one penalty. It negated a turnover. First downs are 11-1. Average yards per play 6.0 to 1.4. Time of possession 11:02 to 4:14. I mean, in every single Tennessee even leads tackles for loss, despite having many fewer chances to get a tackle for loss. So Tennessee
Gabe,
dominating everything as far as that goes, as far as the game goes. Honestly. So, okay, we're hopping back just to me for the time being while we get Mitch's audio figured out, which we will do. Don't worry about it. But here we go. Okay, so Missouri's going to get the ball back. Expect Connor Bazelak at quarterback. And I want to be clear, I don't have a problem with Connor Bazelak here. It's the first drive of the second quarter. And if he leads the team and gets positive yards or points, cool, stick with him. But good enough, man. I mean, he's gonna get his chance at getting this done. So we're gonna try to give Mitch a call back and see if we can hear him now.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. We've got you back. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. This something might be wrong with this pair of headphones is holding the microphone, and that might be a little on the fritz. I don't know. We'll have our tech people look into that.
We didn't. So here's what we established while you were gone. Missouri is getting its brains beat in on both sides of the football, up and down the field.
Yeah, pretty much. The offense hasn't even had that many opportunities. They've only had the ball twice. Only one first down. The defense has been pretty much dominated. I mean, the defensive line especially is just getting pushed around. And basically, they need a spark. They need this drive to A, result in points, and B, give the defense some time off the field because they need to regroup.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, they have to get a few first downs. You don't want to say they have to get points, but it feels really close to they have to get points.
Yeah, and they need to get a couple first downs for sure, and take some time off the clock, and give the defense a little bit of a breather and time for the defensive coaches to yell at them. It is Connor Bazelak in the game.
Ryan Walters, by the way, also feeling the ire of the commenters, which is fair. I mean, they're getting plastered on defense. Did we ever find out what that penalty was on that last drive? Does anybody know?
I thought the signal was hands to the face.
Okay.
By the way, I don't know if you heard it is Bazelak in the game.
Yeah. And the first carry is going to go to Larry Roundtree. So, it will be interesting to see. Like, let's say they go down and score and Roundtree gets 6 carries. Like, Bazelak's going to get credit for it, but what if Roundtree would have gotten the ball when the other guy was in too?
Yeah.
But whatever. The guy who's at quarterback is going to get credit for it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, Justin's saying that the penalty was hands to the face. Don't know who it was on, but old news. Not that it really matters, but we had just never seen anything that said exactly what the call was. And got another penalty coming up on Missouri. So
yeah,
we complimented them last week for the discipline and the lack of penalties. They've been only 2 so far, but they're damaging ones.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, coming into this season, we thought this team just kind of might have a little bit of a dearth of talent, especially on the offensive end. And I never was convinced after last week that this was going to be like a team that could move the ball up and down the field and was going to have some growing pains. Now, I didn't expect this from the defense, but the offense, they're not built to be put in spots like this.
Right. Well, I'll say that. And look, the truth is, we're one drive from this being, oh my goodness, what's going on? You can't go down 21-0.
Yeah, you cannot. Little completion there makes this a little bit more manageable. I don't know what you're seeing, but that was just a 5-yard completion to Daniel Parker.
Yeah, I'm basically a play behind you, and
okay.
I mean, look, it's not necessarily like an NFL throw, but hey, it's the first completed pass of the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. Well, hey, third conversion on third down. That was a nice pocket presence and throw from Connor Bazelak.
Yeah, and look, if he leads him down the field, I'm fine with him staying in. Like, you don't let him go on a drive and then yank him, right?
No, I wouldn't think so. If it's your only successful drive all day.
Yeah. Nice throw, and honestly, yeah, he could have run for that, I think, too.
Yeah. Oh, Roundtree is free.
There you go. Um, and so I think what we said last week was that Sean Robinson didn't do anything to lose the job, right? Maybe he.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say he has yet, but
I'll be really curious to see because obviously, this was pretty much the plan. First or second quarter, sorry, get Bazelak in. I will be curious to see what Eli Drinkwitz does. I think probably I'd be definitely tempted to ride the hot hand.
You have to.
I also think though that does I think establish a little bit of a dangerous precedent where you do truly get into the old you don't have one quarter,
but
you
look,
don't have quarterback when you have
if he's
two.
listing these guys as or on the depth chart, he doesn't know who his quarterback is, right? You can't have a guy take you down to the 30-yard line when you've done nothing all day and then yank him. I mean, to me, this is Bazelak as long as it's working.
Yeah, that was a really good throw just now to David Hazelton. You'll probably see it in a second. That was, you got to keep him in. That was a nice throw and catch.
But the truth is, you're probably going to need two this year, right? I mean,
yes. Yeah.
Whether it's COVID or regular injury or whatever, you're probably going to need them both to play. But yeah, I mean, there's no question who the better quarterback is so far today. There's no doubts.
That was a heck of a catch by Damon Hazelton, I will say.
Funny commenters say I would have kept Alex Smith as QB1 because I wasn't ready to. I'm not ready to cut Sean Robinson. So.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, we're always going to be probably one step behind the public sentiment in terms of firing people and changing personnel. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes we're right.
We've never been right. Come on.
That's true. What am I talking about? Looks like Chris Abrams-Drain in the backfield now on 3rd and 6.
They did that one time last week. He got a carry for like 3 yards.
He did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now he motions out.
So it looks like, again, they're sticking pretty much with the same 5 offensive linemen, even though one of them is Bobby Lawrence this week. And, Jalen Knox about to drop a first down pass, huh?
Yep. I don't know if it would have gotten him a first down. I'd have to see that again. It would have been close. It would have been like 4th and 1 from the 5. They would have gone for it.
I mean, you got to get points, though, right? You got to get first down. Oh, I think that's a first down if he catches it. He was standing at the 4.
Yeah. Mevis is a large kicker.
He is. No question. No question about it. So how long was the kick? 27?
Something like that. It was not long. Updating the thread on the board and tweeting.
27-yard kick. So, hey, Missouri on the board. You'll take it for sure. So if you can get a stop, you might still have a game, right?
Yeah, they need to stop.
Yeah. Meanwhile, plenty of points in Gainesville, 14-14 South Carolina. Maybe Florida doesn't have a defense either.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying in the pregame show. Like, I would like to see. I know, it wasn't that close, and they, against Ole Miss, and Ole Miss scored some of their points late. But I would like to see, Florida defense kind of take care of business against the South Carolina's offense that isn't very good, and clearly that hasn't been the case so far, even though I haven't been watching.
Well, Cal has the game plan: shut him out the rest of the game and let Mevis kick field goals. I mean, you could win 15-14 that way. Keegan wants Mevis on the defensive line.
I mean, could it be worth a shot?
Yeah, I mean, he's not little.
He's not. I think I'd say swap out him and Kobe Whiteside. I want to watch Kobe Whiteside kick. That would amuse me.
Okay, so huge drive for the defense. I mean, there's no question that this has to be a stop. You let them go down and score again, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. That this team gets down 21-3 to anybody on the schedule, the game's over.
Yeah, it definitely in big trouble. Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Look, this defense is supposed to be the strength of the team. There's no, they I would imagine were getting an earful on the sidelines. They got a little bit of a break. They saw their offense put some points up. This is the time where you need someone to step up and make a play. Maybe a negative play and get a stop.
So we've got a couple of people saying they feel like the play calling was different based on who the quarterback was. I think. I mean, I don't know. Robinson was never out there long enough to say what the play calling was, right? They had one first down.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think the play calling changed a little bit where, they adapted and said some of this sideline to sideline stuff isn't working. I don't know if that's based on the personnel or based on the fact that, it wasn't working at first and they needed to give the ball to Roundtree more and throw a little more downfield. However, I will say, last week, they were much more willing to throw downfield with Bazelak in the game, so it is kind of an extension of that.
Yeah. So everybody talking about who the quarterback's going to be, but they got to get a stop here first. Sean Ketting doing a nice job putting the ball out of the end zone on kickoffs.
Yes, yeah, he's like 100. He's 100% on that. Oh boy.
Well, that sounds good.
About a 20-yard run on first down. Someone got bowled over. I think it was Ishburdine. Yeah, this defensive line is getting just pushed off the ball.
Yeah. That was Josh Bledsoe that got knocked about 3 yards backward.
Yes, it was by Ishburdine, actually, kind of.
Yeah. And look, I think the secondary's fine overall, but yeah, they're getting torched up front.
Mm-hmm. And look, I mean, Tennessee's offensive line again is really good, but still, this is just because. But Missouri's defensive front is supposed to be pretty good, so this is definitely not what you want to see.
Concerning. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you guys may already have seen the third down play, but I'm coming up to the third down play. You got to have a stop here.
They get one. I just saw it.
There you
go. It was actually a very, very nice play by Ishburdine.
He looks like a linebacker. He does not look like a corner.
He's a big corner. Yeah. Yep, he is. He kind of looks like, I think he's kind of built a little bit like AC, maybe even a little more solid, but AC was kind of that big, long corner. And Tennessee is not going for it. They're punting, which probably smart.
Yeah, up 14-3. I think you punt on 4th and 5. So, yeah, Burdine and Rakestraw, I think there's reason to feel very good about that position.
For sure. Especially, I mean, and, when Ware comes back, obviously he'll play quite a bit.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
So.
If he's not playing this week, he's just apparently doesn't even exist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, he's played about 10% of the snaps this season, maybe less. He got
probably
hurt,
less. Right? I think he was out on the second drive last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Abrams-Drain has caught every punt, which I know that sounds
dumb,
but that's a good thing.
And the rest of their punt returners are combined 0 for 1 on catching the punts.
Right. Trey's asking how old Jarvis Ware is. He's a junior, right?
Yes, true junior, yeah.
So Bazelak coming back for this drive, which, I mean, he has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, T Rise loves the feature, watching with 60 other people. Yeah, this is glad to have the participation we do. Once again, while we're on a break, call and Gentry Law Group in Jeff City, callgentry.com. On the call, see with our clever little telephone play on words, see how that worked. But check them out, callgentry.com. It's at Chip Gentry on Twitter. He is one of the partners there, and they'll take care of everything for you guys. Get in touch with them. Any legal things you have going on, absolutely tell them you heard about them from Power Mizzou. They will take care of you and get you straightened out. Now, I can't promise they're going to get you off. I can't promise they'll solve your legal problems, but they will handle them certainly professionally. So check them out, and hopefully you don't really have to be quite honest. But we'll see.
Yeah,
so,
this is kind of fun for me. I obviously like being at the game, but it's kind of nice. It's relaxing to like just sort of chat about the action.
Wait till we start drinking.
Yeah, I guess I have to write after the game. That's not as fun.
That's how I do some of my best writing, honestly.
True.
But no, T-Rise, I am not suggesting that you have legal issues. I hope you don't. I'm just suggesting what to do if you do get them. So this is kind of that point in a game where it can go either way. I mean, if Missouri gets points, they get the ball to start the second half, and you feel like, hey, one possession game, get the ball back, you're in pretty good shape. If they don't get points and Tennessee does, then all of a sudden you're looking at, oh man, this might be over. I mean, this is a huge, back and forth possession in this game.
I'm curious to see what would happen if the offense stalls out again with Bazelak. Do you start just then switching back and forth?
Stick with them, don't you?
I'm a pretty big believer in you don't want to be changing quarterbacks every possession.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, all you need is an 86-yard drive,
Oh, my goodness. They might get it on one. Oh, no.
Who drops it? I know somebody dropped it.
Tom Jacinto, absolutely wide open behind everyone. The pass was a little underthrown, but it still could have been a 50-yard gain if he doesn't drop it.
His feet just tangled up, and I mean, man.
Yeah, I mean that could have been an 85-yard touchdown. Instead, it's
I mean, at the worst, he trips and it's a 50-yard gain.
Exactly.
That just can't happen. I mean, Dom had a great game last week, but you're as good as the last play, and that's a killer. I mean, this game should be 14-10. I want to shout out Adam Rosenbaum, Ole Miss fan, but he likes me from G-Pit, so he's hanging out with us. So,
wow,
appreciate having you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Now, see, that's the difference, and I know you're a play ahead, but that's the difference between playing Tennessee and Alabama. That Jalen Knox end around doesn't work against Alabama. It works against Tennessee.
Also, the difference between playing Tennessee and Alabama is the play you're probably about to see after that, where Connor Bazelak has to run backwards to pick up a snap and then actually finds Kiki Chisholm wide open for a 20-yard gain.
Okay. I mean, so, look, you guys win, man. Bazelak's much better today. Maybe he's the guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he looks far better today. That also was kind of a lucky play there to
but
I think
had the presence of mind to find the guy.
For sure. Yeah, and definitely can't overlook the fact that he's had a pass that would have probably been a first down in the red zone dropped and a potential 86-yard touchdown dropped.
Right. So
he's been very good.
He's your guy for a little bit at least.
And really, I do think this offense, it looks better when they're willing to throw down the field like this, at least every now and again. And they just haven't really been willing to do that with Robinson under center. Now, again, like we said earlier, is it a change because of game flow and because what they were doing earlier wasn't working, or is it strictly based on the quarterback? I don't know.
Right. I kind of want to see Mevis try like a 55-yarder. I mean,
Same, just to see if he can.
okay, so
Ooh,
I know I'm going back, but Tyler Beatty got to drop his shoulder and get that first down.
Yeah, so 3rd and 1, they gave the ball to Roundtree, and it's going to be very, very, very close. I think he has it.
But that's on Beatty. They never should have been in 3rd down. Beatty's got to get an extra 6 inches or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, Roundtree, it's not that close, actually, on second look.
It looked live. It looked close live, but then, yeah, he spun and got like an extra yard. I'm not sure he had it the first time, but after the spin.
Yeah.
I think Beatty should, or I'm sorry, I think Roundtree should get like 80% of the carries. And that's not a knock on Beatty. Roundtree's he's an every down back.
Mm-hmm.
So Tennessee fans are watching this game going, what the hell happened, right? I mean, complete dominance to getting pushed around.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the quarterback made that big a difference. I don't know.
I mean, I think part of it, might just be a little bit of a wake-up call deal where Missouri just didn't look like they were quite ready to play the first couple drives.
What exactly? I don't know if that's Jeremy Pruitt, but like his mask is not at all covering his face. It's just over his whole head. But like his face, he's wearing it like a hoodie.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
I mean, yeah. All right. So, all right. Well, I guess I'll wait till the end of this drive to update the stats. But we actually do have a new stats graphic. Shout out Paul Burkhart was watching, and he makes our graphics and saw the mistake on the last graphic and sent me a new one. So I appreciate that, and we are going to get those uploaded at halftime. Well, obviously that's not what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to do this on the fly, and it's not going well. So we'll get it figured out here at some point. But we'll jump back to actually talking about the game for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you got to. I think you got to roll with Bazelak the rest of the way, unless he gets hurt, because he's looked sharper and the offense has looked better with him in the game.
Yeah, no question. But yeah, I mean, then what happens if you have 3 straight drives in the second half? It's why I really like picking a starting quarterback before the season,
right?
Because now this is what the first time Bazelak struggles. This is what we're going to go through. Are you sticking with him or not?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yup. You're right. I didn't really realize how much downtime you got to fill when you got to talk through commercial breaks.
Yeah, well, because we're usually either running to get something to eat or drink, or trying to catch up on the message board or whatever. So yeah, they're in a 3.5-hour game. Like seriously, there's like 18 minutes of action. Mm-hmm. The rest of it is just going back and forth. Also, the SEC has incredibly long commercials.
Yeah.
It just means more.
Friend of Power Mizzou, Joe Walchasper, to your mask comment, tweeted, "I don't think Jeremy Pruitt's mask came with instructions."
Seriously, I mean, it looked beyond clearly not being right. It looked really stupid.
Yeah.
Like it looked like a cartoon character.
Yeah, I will say, after just watching that first down play where Bazelak scrambles out of bounds, the offensive line, they had a couple missed blocks early, that one in particular in the quarterback run. They've been solid in pass protection here these last couple possessions.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Bazelak had an hour there.
Yeah. Tyler Beatty's running the wrong direction.
Yeah, honestly,
he lost about
T.
2
Rise
yards.
is right. If Bazelak runs sooner, that maybe would have been a first down.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, I know it's kind of a staple of Missouri's offense to try to get playmakers on the edge, but through 2 weeks, how many plays have we seen work that where it's like a sweep or a quick pass or a toss? I mean, it's got to be like less than 5.
Not a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I know you don't want to scrap big parts of the offense, but they've looked a lot better off with inside runs and with drop back, passes.
And part of that is too guys understanding. Okay, eventually you're going to get to the sideline. You've got to turn up field.
Well, I jinxed the pass protection.
Still, though, I mean, you get something out of that drive. You got yardage. You flip field position. You have some things to feel good about.
So sack on third down. First of all, not great. You don't want to take a third down sack in field goal position. However, I think they're still in field goal range. Where I'm watching a replay right now. Hopefully, get to see here.
Well, I'm about to watch it live.
Here we go. It looks like it'll be a 50-yard field goal attempt. So here's your chance to see what Mevis is made of.
Okay, and I'm watching the sack, and Bazelak should have taken off there.
Wow, Mevis just drills it. He could have made that from 55.
He's like Bucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so, hey, what do we got? 14-6, which, considering where things were just like 15 minutes ago, you got to this is now, I don't want to say it's the game, but you need to stop on this drive if you're Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the game, but yes, you definitely, you would like to not give up a touchdown.
There was some serious knuckling on that kick too. It was like went like left and right and left again.
But yeah, I mean, if you get a stop here, Missouri gets the ball back, like you said, to start the second half. So
you got a chance.
This game is certainly not over.
And look, Stryker's right. That sack is on Bobby Lawrence. Bobby Lawrence got beat. There's no question. But also, that's something that if Bazelak feels the pressure, there was room in front. He can step up and I think probably get the first down, but if not get the first down, at least avoid the negative play.
The bigger thing is, you don't want to take negative plays in field goal range, but it turned out not to be at the end of the world. And that's something I think that'll just come with experience for Bazelak.
Yeah, we've got Florida leading South Carolina just 17-14, so that one's in the second quarter, about 3 minutes left. So right about on the same pace as this game.
But yeah, I mean, certainly Missouri has settled in quite a bit here in the second quarter. Yeah. It no longer feels quite so one-sided, and honestly feels like Mizzou is a couple non-drops away from having this be a tie game.
100%. Like, we forget that game, it probably should be 14-10 right now.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you can always say, well, if it weren't for this play, it's this. Obviously, Tennessee had a missed field goal, so don't want to get like too carried. The score's still 14-6. But yes, it has felt like a much more even game here in this quarter.
Yeah.
Trey Williams with a nice play on first down.
That's good to see. Oh my! Like with one arm.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have tackled both the quarterback and running back.
So now you're like 2nd and 12. You got to get out of this drive.
Well,
not so much. Yeah.
No, second down, same play, draw up the middle, gets about 15. So not ideal.
To answer Keegan's question, no, I don't think playbook install should be a problem. We've seen a fair amount of pre-snap motion and things like that, right?
Yeah, I can't see the questions, but like if it's about if the issue is installing the playbook, I don't think so. I think, and Drinkwitz has said consistently, look, like we've got everything installed just fine. It's just that they haven't had a chance to run it a ton of times. So you're going to have issues with communication and just crisp execution. Yeah.
Right.
So. Right. Yeah. And also, I mean, like both of these quarterbacks have had so little time to work with this offense. Bazelak, he probably wasn't cleared to start doing like running plays until August. So.
Right.
We're back to the defense getting absolutely gashed here. I mean, it's like 4 big plays in a row.
Maybe they can score quickly enough that Missouri can still get the ball back.
Yes, that looks likely.
And it's really been nothing tricky from Tennessee. I mean, they're just lining up and blowing them off the ball.
It's pretty much just like run, play action pass, run. And and when you can get, 10 yards on a lot of these inside draws, it's, why change?
Why do anything else? Yeah, missing Jordan Elliott, certainly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean,
basically, it's only one guy, but you've replaced Jordan Elliott with Markel Utzi, and that makes Kobe Whiteside a less effective
and also
player.
This is always kind of an issue sometimes with like the 3-4 front, which is not drastically different with what they ran last season. But like you get, you have one fewer body kind of inside the 2 tackles. And I think they expected this kind of defensive tackle group to be better than this, obviously. Now, Tennessee and Alabama both have really good offensive lines, but yeah.
Trey brings up
the
an
defensive
interesting
tackles.
point. Tennessee going with some tempo, and Missouri really doesn't look set on defense on this drive.
No, you're right. They don't. So I'll just talk what I'm seeing. 3rd and 4 inside the 15. Missouri could use a stop here, although if Tennessee gets a couple yards, I wouldn't be stunned if they went for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Up 14-6.
Well, moot point. It's a touchdown.
Okay. Well, never mind then. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, I mean, we've regressed to the point now pretty much where it's like the defense is very concerning. I'm worried about the defense because that should be the strength of this team, and they're getting kind of dominated right now.
Yeah, and everybody indicating this touchdown's on Nick Bolton. So.
Yeah, it looked like he just didn't really make a play when he wasn't well blocked on a screen pass. I'm going to watch it again here. I mean,
he
went outside and forced. Yeah, he also, you want to force the player back inside like that. The help just wasn't there, but still, you would expect him to make that play.
Yeah, no question. So, 21-6 and only 44 seconds to operate with. So that's not, it's not ideal. And hey, Tennessee's got a couple running backs now.
Yeah, and they have a really good offensive line, like we've said. But yeah, Gray. I mean, he was really good at the end of last season, and Ty Chandler's been around for a while. So, but yeah, I don't know. You expect more out of this.
So what do you do when you get the ball back here? You've got to try to move and get 3, right?
I think so. I think you try to. I think you take a shot or 2.
I think you have
you tell your quarterback to be smart. You say, Yeah, I mean, I think you got to try.
Yeah.
Try to score.
Because if you just go in down 21-6, then fine. Maybe you score and make it 21-13, but you're giving them the ball right back. And honestly, you've only stopped them once so far. Or you could just return the kickoff for a touchdown like that. That's the play I would call personally.
Yeah. That would solve some of the problems.
I don't know why they don't do things like that more. Just call the touchdown play.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean I assume this is going to be a touchback. Is the offense on the field yet for you?
It is walking out now. Bazelak's still out there. No surprise.
Right. Yeah. I think at this point this is his game, right? I mean, I expect he takes every snap the rest of the way, and it's going to be interesting. But again, one thing to remember, he didn't recruit either of these quarterbacks. So as far as confidence and things like that go, I'm not sure he cares. I mean, I don't want to say he doesn't care, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Bazelak Tennessee had an absolutely unblocked blitzer come up the middle, and he did a nice job of eluding him there. He felt that pretty well.
Probably should avoid the whole
Didn't
unblocked blitzer thing.
Yeah, and it ended up just being a 2-yard or 1-yard scramble, but better than getting him just destroyed, which could have happened there.
So, I mean, 3-time, and again, we'll see what happens.
Second play in a row on second down there where you've got a guy who just hits Bazelak almost as soon as he gets the snap.
So this is why you may still need Sean Robinson at some point,
Yeah. I think his legs were designed and intended to be a bigger part of this offense, and it just hasn't happened so far. Now, part of that is it's kind of been a small sample size, but that was not it from as far as getting the points at the end of the half there, but Missouri will get the ball back to start the second half. So
21-6 at halftime. Why didn't Missouri take a timeout before third down?
I guess
just to leave them time.
I think because it's like, we'll take one more shot, and if we get, I don't know.
I mean, clearly you're not scoring once you.
Yeah, clearly they didn't have a lot of confidence in the play at that point.
Okay, so we're going to halftime. It's 21-6. Mitch, we're gonna let you go do halftime thoughts, do your stuff. Then when Mitch comes back, I'm going to take a break for a few minutes. It'll probably be early in the third quarter. At that point, he'll probably kind of hang out with you guys for a few minutes while I, take a quick break, grab something to eat. But, Mitch, we'll catch up with you in a minute, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so back just to me here during halftime. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our stats updated for you guys with the statistical information. So again, you're gonna have to stick with me because we do this live. It's the only way that I can do it. So you're just gonna have to hang on with me. We did at least get the right graphic this time, so that is good. And you're going to have to give me just a couple seconds while I look up the stats, and I'll just kind of do them live with you guys, as we go. So total yardage is 283 to 144, still in favor of Tennessee. So obviously not ideal, much closer than it was. At one point, I think after the first quarter, it was like 107 to 13. So, it's closer. But boy, 283 from Tennessee is not what Ryan Walters is going to want to see at all. That's way, way too much, certainly for the defense is supposed to be the strength of this team. And you're basically getting outgained 2-1 here, and you are on pace to give up 566 yards, which is just, that's crazy. That's way too much. Against the Tennessee offense that, like, it's, I don't know, fine, I think is what you'd say. It's a fine offense, but it's not great. Now Missouri is balanced, at least 72 rushing yards and 72 passing yards. So, that's something. Again, it should be far more. They should have about 86 more passing yards because huge drop, and the ability to catch the ball is a problem. Tennessee has run for more than it's thrown for. It's 149 on the ground for the Vols. And again, these numbers are or the first time we put in these numbers, like they just move around a little bit. They go in at random spots, and I have to go in there and fix it, and that's just kind of the way it happens. But 149 on the ground, 134 through the air. Obviously, too much on both sides. Tennessee ran 43 plays. Missouri ran just 31. First downs are 16-7 in favor of the Vols. So 21-6 is, it's probably about what you'd expect out of this game. I mean, that's about what the stats say that it should be. Tennessee dominated every phase of that game. Missouri put together one nice drive, maybe 1.5 nice drives, maybe. Again, Missouri had a penalty that negated a takeaway on defense, so certainly that hurt them. Didn't turn the ball over, but just never did anything really on offense with Sean Robinson. And then when Connor Bazelak came into the game, they did put together a couple drives, and looked better, certainly. So we got that all updated now. And again, I apologize. The first time we do it, it takes a minute. But rushing yards 149-72, more than 2-1 in favor of Tennessee. Passing yards almost 2-1 at 134-72. Total yards 283-144, again almost 2-1. First downs more than 2-1. You look at some other numbers. Missouri had 3 penalties for 30 yards, but one was a hold that negated a first down. One was a hands to the face, which negated a takeaway. Tennessee had just 1 penalty for 5 yards. It was actually on the first snap of the game. Now, Missouri has gotten better on third down. Tennessee just 3 for 8 on third down. The problem is the Vols are 3 for 3 on fourth down. They've all been 4th and 1. They've all been, I think, quarterback sneaks. Tennessee averaging 2 yards more per play, 1.4 more yards per completion, 1.9 more yards per rush. They've been better everywhere. Tackles for loss, Tennessee 5, Missouri 1. Individually, Larry Roundtree 8 carries for 51 yards. So they said he'd get more. He had 14 carries last week. He's on pace for 16 carries now. So we'll see if that picks up in the second half. Connor Bazelak 5 for 8, 72 yards. Obviously should have been better than that. The drop hurt. Sean Robinson 1 for 4, 0 yards. Look, you guys are right today who the quarterback is, no question. Now I don't know if that's going to remain the case, but certainly right now this is Connor Bazelak's game. He's the guy. He's the guy you're going to stick with. The only other game in the SEC which is underway right now is Florida 24, South Carolina 14 with 28 seconds left in the third. If you're Missouri, this game comes down right now to one thing. You have to get points on this drive without question. So let's see. We're going to roll through some of these comments. I know you guys are upset that Missouri didn't try to get more points. But I'm not sure it was going to happen, to be quite honest. Get to halftime, regroup, try to come back in the second half. I understand people who say it was too conservative, but I'm okay with it. You get the ball back. No reason to do something stupid before the half and give Tennessee more points. Again, open to disagreement. Justin Ferguson says third down and manageable. Take the timeout. Give yourself a chance on third down. Instead, they blew 10 to 15 seconds. I get it. I do get it. But, hey, and I just noticed I uploaded the wrong graphic there, apparently. So we'll see if I can find the right one, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to do this live. I don't know. I'm sure we've got it, and I apologize to Paul Burkhart because he did send me the corrected one, but I can't do everything while I'm going on. So rushing yards, passing yards, total yards. There you go. You get the idea. So yeah, that graphic is right. We're good. It says total passing yards, but that's fine. The one below it says total yards and that's what we want. So, Again, I appreciate all you guys joining us, taking time. I think this is a little bit better with both Mitch and I here. It's not, we've got a little bit more of a conversation, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, give us a like, subscribe if you haven't. You'll get notifications for everything. Again, want to lay out kind of what the plan is. Mitch right now is doing some halftime thoughts on the message board. He's grabbing something to eat. When he's ready, he's going to hit me up. I'm going to Skype him in. He's going to watch along with you guys for a couple minutes while I take a break, go grab lunch, bring it back, and then we'll get going with the second half. Then what we'll do when the game is over, we will end this broadcast when the clock hits 0. We will jump on the post-game Zoom with Eli Drinkwitz. I'll record Drinkwitz. When he's done, I will come on the post-game show sponsored by Boulevard. The first 15 minutes or so of that is going to be Drinkwitz's press conference playing, and then we are going to take your calls. Mitch is going to be doing interviews with players, writing post-game stories, updating the website like always after post-game. I'm going to be hanging out here with you guys, taking calls, and just talking about the game. There is no time limit. As long as you guys want to talk, we'll do it. I think we went about an hour 50 last week. That's cool if it goes an hour 50. If it goes longer because it's earlier, hey, we'll do that this week. So, whatever happens. So, love Mizzou to start throwing deep and attack the middle of their D. It works so far. They've just not been caught. You're right. Like the drops have been absolutely, and Alex pointed out the 2 drops changed the half. Obviously, not only on those drives, but on the clock management. No question, drops were an issue. I think that's the thing. You got to feel good about Harrison Mevis, I think. Does Robinson look good in practice because our defense can't stop his skill set, but other defenses can? Yeah, look, today, Rashawn Robinson didn't have it. I thought he was the better quarterback against Alabama, but clearly he's not the better quarterback today. There's no question about that. Should we try more screens considering how aggressive they are, take the deep shots since they are apparently working? Yeah, I'd still like to see more Larry Roundtree. Screens are fine. I'm fine with adding that in if you want that to be a part of the game. No issues. But I'd like to see a little bit more Roundtree involved in this game. He had 8 carries for, about 50 yards. So that's, I think about 50. I'm actually going to look it up now because I can't remember. Yeah, 8 carries for 51 yards. That's 6.4 per carry, man. That's good enough. I mean, you take out Robinson's runs. Missouri ran 16 times for 68 yards. You take out Basilak's, it was 13 for 66. So that's 5 yards a carry between Roundtree, Knox, and Beatty, and that's good enough. That's good enough to open up the passing game and do some things. So I don't have a big problem with the offensive play calling. I have a little problem with the offensive execution at times. The bigger problem in this one has been the defense. Missouri's defense is supposed to be better than this. There's no 2 ways to look at it. Missouri's defense is supposed to be better than this. And it hasn't been so far. And that's the problem. Missouri can't be on pace to give up 42 points to Tennessee. They're not gonna win games that way. I will go so far as to say Missouri will not win an SEC game in which it gives up 42 points. It's just not going to happen. That's not how this team is built. So they got to get better on defense. And I'm sure that's what they will say after the game if this thing doesn't turn around is, hey, we didn't give our offense a chance because we never stopped anybody. And Tim wants to see the adjustments that Eli Drinkwitz is going to make. No question. That's definitely something to watch. See what he gets done in the second half. Once again, hey, there's me. That's my name. Hang on, I'm going to make it so you can actually see it. Gabe DeArmond hanging out here with you, publisher of Power Mizzou. I do want to take this time, like, we're doing all this stuff for free this year, guys, at least so far. All this streaming is free. It's on our YouTube channel. We're trying to get as many eyeballs as we can. But the way we do more things like this is people subscribing to PowerMizzou.com. And yes, we do this on game day, but we do a lot of other things throughout the week. We have all the recruiting coverage, a lot of, thoughts on tomorrow morning. We'll have a report card. We'll have thoughts on the game. We'll have Pro Football Focus numbers on Monday morning, feature stories, recruiting coverage, basketball. We're going to do some streaming for basketball too, I think. But the more of you that sign up for that, it's $9.95 a month. It's $99 a year. It's affordable. The more of you that do that, like that's how we reinvest that money in this product. This is all new this year. This all happened because we had enough of you guys come to Power Mizzou and join up that we wanted to try this, invested in all the equipment, taught old guy how to do it. And so the more subscribers we get over there, the more we can do things like this. So yeah, this is all free right now. Next season, it might not be. Next season, we might require a subscription. We'll see how it all goes. But appreciate everybody who has been joining us for these. And this part, especially this part, only works if you guys are active and you guys are engaged and you guys are giving us things to talk about. Because otherwise, it's just either me or me and Mitch just BSing about the game, and frankly, nobody wants to see that for 3 hours. Missed interception and overturned fumble seemed to be a big backbreaker. Agree that overturned fumble, and it wasn't. They actually, I think, kept it a fumble, which surprised me. I thought it was an incomplete pass live, but they kept it a fumble. But it was the penalty, hands to the face, I guess, that took it away, and that was a big play because at that point it was 7-0. They had gotten the stop on the missed field goal. At that point, it was 7-0. That would have set Missouri up at the Tennessee 31-yard line. This whole thing looks different if that doesn't happen. So it only goes down as a 15-yard penalty, but it is a huge, huge penalty. I mean, it's so much bigger than 15 yards, you know. I mean, it's probably 10 points. Because Tennessee ends up scoring on the drive. It takes away a chance at a field goal, at least for Missouri. So, big deal. Okay, did we overrate Alabama in week 1? No. Here's what you overrated. The second half. Like, Alabama was ahead 35-3, guys. Nothing else that matters after that really, or nothing else that happens after that really matters. I know you want to focus on and you want to say, oh, hey, there's two of me. Hang on. You want to say, hey, guys, look, we came back and we outscored them 16-3, and that's real good. Well, yeah, but if Nick Saban wanted that game to be 52-10, that game probably would have been 52-10, to be quite honest with you. So I don't think you overrated Alabama. I think you overrated Alabama's maybe drive and desire. I also think you probably undersold Tennessee. Because I saw a lot of, well, hey, Tennessee just barely beat South Carolina. They're a fraud. Well, they're not. I mean, look, I don't think they're a powerhouse, but this is not Tennessee from 4 years ago. Tennessee's a better team than Missouri is right now. Doesn't mean Missouri can't win this game, but I think there was a lot of underrating Tennessee going on. Maybe Mizzou is just bad on defense. Maybe. It's possible, I guess we'll see. Did you actually see the hands to the face? I didn't. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. But no, I didn't see it live. Haven't heard you mention play calling decisions. What are thoughts on it for the first half? I mean, overall, I'd like to see a little more Roundtree, a little less sideline to sideline. But once Connor Bazelak came in, when you drop an 86-yard touchdown pass on 1st and 10, that completely changes play calling. I mean, you shouldn't have to call any more plays. That should be 6 points and you're done. But that didn't happen. And so then we're criticizing play calls on plays that never should have had to be called, So overall, I'm not going to complain too much about the play calling. I mean, yeah, there are things you can harp on, but drops are, no question, drops are a problem. The biggest one was Dom Jacinto. I'm sure there were others, but the biggest one was Dom Jacinto, that it took points off the board. It just did. So, again, want to flash the stats up for you guys one more time to kind of refresh everybody where we are in this one. And again, complete domination from Tennessee, 149-72 rushing, 134-72 passing, 283-144 total, 16-7 in first downs. Neither team had a turnover, so that's about the only place Missouri was even. Missouri did get off the field on third down better, 3 for 8 for Tennessee. But the problem is that Missouri didn't get off the field on fourth down. Tennessee converted all 3 of its fourth downs. And that was certainly an issue for the Mizzou defense. Many things were an issue for the Mizzou defense. Jarrett Garantano just seems to play his best football against Missouri. 10 of 17, 134 and a touchdown. Not amazing, but better than he usually is, In those two running backs, Ty Chandler and Eric Gray combined 19 carries, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, about 7 per carry. Closer to 6 to 6.5 per carry. But they blew Missouri off the ball. I'd say if you're looking for where do we start, what's the number one issue in that half, I think you start with the defensive line and the fact that they just were absolutely dominated at the line of scrimmage. And really from start to finish. And again, Tennessee has a good offensive line. I don't think they have a phenomenal offensive line, but I think they have a good offensive line. Will Missouri face better? Certainly. Will Missouri face worse? Probably, I think. So we will see how that goes. So a lot of things to clean up from the past few years of mediocre coaching and recruiting. And no question, look, this isn't really going to be Eli Drinkwitz's fault this year, right? He's in the honeymoon period. And because of what this year has been, that honeymoon probably gets extended for a year. So I don't think anybody is saying Eli Drinkwitz can't coach or he's got to go or he doesn't know what he's doing. Everybody understands what he took over. And that's where they're at. It's going to be a struggle. Look, there's a reason Mitch and I picked this team to go 3-7. There's a reason. It's Tennessee's 5-star O-line transfer playing. Yeah, Cade Mays is eligible and is playing in this game, and that certainly helps when you add him to Trey Smith, who is certainly a heck of a player. Probably Tennessee's best player, but Ty Chandler and Eric Gray, man, I've been impressed with those guys. I think the second half is about to get going. Red zone execution definitely a thing. Tennessee 3 for 3 in the red zone. Actually, yeah, I think 3 for 3. Even though I think one of those plays was exactly 20 yards that scored. But Mitch is going to be jumping back on here soon. When he does, I'm going to leave you guys for a couple minutes, and Mitch is going to handle things. I will be back shortly, and we will handle the last hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes, whatever it is, together the way we did the first half, and we'll hang out with you guys for the last 2 quarters. I wouldn't say disastrous first half, but it's certainly not a good first half. Discouraging, maybe, would be the right way to phrase it, I think, what we saw out of Missouri. So yeah, I'm gonna rest my voice for a minute until we get back to game action. And if you guys have comments and all that, so 3-7. Do you want to revise that? I really don't. I think they beat Arkansas. I think they beat Vanderbilt, and I think they find one more. A lot of people asked me last week, did you see anything that changed your mind? And I said no. And people, have I seen anything that changes my mind this week? No, this was never a win to me. I never expected Missouri to win this game. Still, I don't expect them to win it now. So no, I don't see anything big. Yeah, I know that, Justin, I get your question after what game do we ask that if Odom had more to do with the defense rather than Ryan Walters being this up-and-coming coach. I mean, after they don't play well for more than a half, maybe let's give them more than a half and all. We'll see. If they have a bad defense all year long, how important was Jordan Elliott? How important was Barry Odom? All those things are things that can be asked. I'm not interested in asking them at halftime of the second game, to be quite honest. True Divinity wants to see some things from Basilak. That's good. What am I drinking right now? Water. That's what I'm going to drink during games. Post game, we'll have the Boulevard of the Week, and you guys will have to tune in to see what I picked for this week. It's I'm not going to give that away until it's time. I'm not sure what question won't go well with Drinkwitz. I'm not sure what we're talking about there. That could be about the halftime interview. I don't know. I didn't. Like I said, I don't have the volume up. I don't know what they're saying on the broadcast. So, T-Rise, if you want to add more, I can react. But I'm not sure what you're talking about there. So, all right, now we're getting questions for True Divinity, who legendary last week in week 1, back for week 2, and good to see True, good to see Eric. A lot of the same names from last week. Got a few new people in here, and that's great. Hopefully it builds week by week, and we keep getting some new people taking part here. And this goes all season long. No, I can't imagine he's going to roll Sean Robinson back out for the start of the second half. We'll find out. On my TV, it's kicking off right now, which means you guys probably are already about to see the first play of the second half, so you probably already know who's at quarterback. But no, I don't see a situation where Sean Robinson is the guy here. I think you got to stick with Bazelak. He was the guy that got you through. So. All right, so we are going to dial Mitchell back up. And there is Mitchell, and we'll add him. What's up, man? You
Hey,
you get some
can
lunch,
hear me, right?
everything ready to go?
Concerned. Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, good.
You're here.
Yeah, so I'm back. The second half is back. Looked like it didn't start great for Missouri since they. That was a completion. That was good, but penalty on the kickoff. But now. Now they got it back past the Beatty. All
right. So Mitch is going to take over here for a couple minutes. I'm gonna go grab something to eat. I'll be right back. Now, because I have the software, Mitch can't see your comments, so he's just.
I can.
You can see him on the page.
The YouTube page.
Okay.
So I've pulled up the YouTube page. I don't know where you left off in terms of answering things. So I'm just gonna kind of start like now.
Basically,
and whatever
once
shows
the
up.
game action started is where you're at. So.
Okay.
So
all
yeah.
Right.
So I'll be back in 5 to 10.
All right. What's up, everybody? I put my halftime thoughts on the website. And if you're a subscriber, check those out on the message board. But basically, the summary was the biggest concern for me is obviously the defense, and specifically the defensive line. We thought coming into the season that this was going to be a team that won with its defense, that if it was going to win games, it was going to win like 20-17, something like that, and obviously gave up more than 20 points in the first half. So that's not a recipe for success. Tennessee's averaging 5.7 yards per carry. And you haven't even really made Jarrett Garantano make any plays, which, certainly I think a recipe for beating this Tennessee team is kind of heating him up and pushing him into maybe making some mistakes. So that's a concern. Liked what I've seen from Connor Bazelak. Obviously, the offenses look better with him in there. The receivers have to clean up some of the drop passes, but certainly I don't think you want to get away from giving the ball to Larry Roundtree. I think he's averaging over 6 yards a carry. Decent start here to this possession to start the third quarter. Had a long completion to Tyler Beatty. Now just completed maybe did not complete incomplete on the slot to Jalen Knox, the slant to Jalen Knox. That's not ideal. So it's going to be 4th and 4, and it looks like Missouri's going to punt. I need to see a replay to see if that's on the quarterback or the wide receiver. Stay tuned. Still haven't seen the replay. I'll check your comments here and see what you all think. Yeah, I think, yeah, looks like the consensus is that one's on the receiver, which, man, that's been an issue for Missouri today. Knox with a couple drops now, and Jacinto with one that would have been at a minimum a 50-yard gain, if not a touchdown. I think that's the type of thing that you don't expect receivers to drop the ball, but we thought the offense was going to have some growing pains. The coaching staff clearly came in to overhaul the receiving core when it showed up. You were going to have some growing pains at offensive line and at quarterback. I didn't expect Missouri to have to, play catch up. And then those mistakes hurt a lot more when you're obviously down 21-6 than if this defense had been playing a little bit better. So that's just kind of where I'm at with this one. That was a nice pass from Garantano. Completes. I just saw a 2nd and 10 completion to number 5. Don't know the Tennessee's receivers' names, if we're being honest. Got it right. It looked like Josh Bledsoe had a chance to undercut it. He threw it right over his hand. Really nice, pretty nice throw there. I still don't feel like the secondary has played bad necessarily. It's just, when a team's running the ball as well as Tennessee is, you obviously, you have to play against the run first, and that makes it really hard to, all these defensive backs are pretty much going to be on islands. There was a stop of a running play. Looks like Trajan Jeffcoat's still getting the vast majority of snaps at that outside linebacker spot, so good for him. Clearly in pretty good shape after he took basically a year off of football. Someone pointed out, Trey Overstreet points out Kobe with a nice burst play on the first play of this drive. Absolute. Oh, man. Nearly a pick for Missouri. They could have had about 3 different guys had a shot at that one. Kobe was good to see Kobe Watts. That's about the first real disruptive play he's made this season. Just watching on that 2nd and 10, man, I mean, Nick Bolton and I think it was Josh Bledsoe both had a really good shot at that interception, knocks it up in the air, and then Adam Sparks was kind of in the area. That would have been obviously huge. A turnover at this stage would be big in kind of correcting the momentum, giving the offense a short field. Wow. Garantano completes one on 3rd and 10. That's you got to get off the field on 3rd and 10. That was a good throw and a good catch, but it looks like Burdine was getting picked on there. Man, you'd like to see your cornerbacks not get kind of mossed like that, but I think that's a little more to do with Garantano throwing from a clean pocket. Now, obviously, that was a pretty quick drop. I would need to see a replay to see if they actually tried to blitz, but that's just been the problem on 3rd down for these quarterbacks. I'm watching the replay now. Mizzou just rushed forward and just didn't get there, and that's been the problem on these 3rd downs the past 2 weeks. Is Missouri, either they don't send pressure and the front 4 can't get there, or they do send pressure, it doesn't get there, and that opens up kind of a hot route, a quick completion that gets the 1st down. But man, 3rd and 10, you're giving up that long completion there, 1st down, then 2nd and 10, you give up a draw that gets 8. Like, it's not been an encouraging performance so far from the defense. And as T. Rise points out, it will help to have Jarvis Ware back for sure. He maybe makes that breakup on 3rd down, but I think the bigger issue right now is just Garantano having a lot of time, especially on these 3rd and longs. Oh, hey, Gabe. I don't know if they can see you. Maybe not. 3rd and 2, and it's another conversion for Tennessee. And I mean, I'll look up the 3rd down numbers right now. Let's see what Tennessee is on 3rd downs. Now 5 of 10, and 3 of those have been followed by 4th down conversions. So they're, Missouri's basically 2 for 10 in opportunities to get off the field which was an issue last week and obviously an issue so far this week.
I am back, but I'm going to pop my audio in and out here while I eat lunch because I don't think they want to listen to that.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know if they could see you. I can only see you, so I was, yeah. Garantano has a little room to run, scrambles forward. Looks like Mizzou, they got a little pressure on the edge that time, but the middle of the field was wide open. Obviously, you're not going to spy Garantano. Well, it looks like also Kobe Whiteside just kind of fell down. Let's see what we got comment-wise. Someone, Sir Mufflebuns brings up, I don't know how it's Walter's fault. I see there's been a little debate on at what point you give Barry Odom credit for this defense or Ryan Walters. First of all, Devin Nicholson hobbling off for the second time today. It looks like he'll be okay, but he's definitely leaving the game. Cam Wilkins comes in. I mean, certainly not at this point. You don't, say it was all Ryan or Barry Odom and not Ryan Walters, but Barry Odom obviously has always been a solid defensive coach.
Another good point, Mitch. T-Rise saying they desperately need Jarvis Ware. Like, don't forget they're doing this without their best cornerback.
Right. Without their best corner. Pass rush has been, an issue for that's not, a Walters versus Odom thing. That was an issue under both. And that's kind of been, an issue now. I think, I don't know. I would certainly, want to see them play more games before deciding. It was all Barry Odom's defense here. And also, they are playing some decent opponents. So Nick Bolton shaking up, that's definitely not what you want to see. I just went to commercial. I'm going to check Twitter and see if we have any updates about what is going on with Nick Bolton because
and Devin Nicholson was the play before that. So you're talking about. I mean, Aubrey Miller opted out. I guess it's either Chad Bailey or Jamal Brooks, right?
It would be Chad Bailey behind Bolton. According to Twitter, Nick Bolton is jogging off the field, so that is good. Certainly don't want him to miss.
On my screen, he is kneeling on the field right now. And
yeah. So they go to commercial right after that, and that's why we got on Twitter here. And it's a couple people who are at the game have tweeted jogging off. So certainly want him to be okay. Man, that would be you would really be time to hit the panic button if you lose him.
Yeah, that would be, can we find a way to fudge the COVID numbers and not play next week?
Yeah. There should be a provision in there where it's like, here's the threshold, 53 total, 7 line offensive line, 4 defensive linemen. And then also each team gets to designate one player where if that person is out, they just quit. And from Mizzou, it's Nick.
We have 0 Nick Boltons this week, so we can't play.
Yeah. According to Twitter, Dave Matter retweeted Mizzou Radio, Darius Robinson is out for the rest of the game with a foot injury. I actually did not see him initially get hurt, but not sure he's a difference maker on the D-line per se, but certainly would help against some of the tempo, just to be able to rotate guys in and out.
Okay, so Stryker's asking, do you think Drinkwitz will have to modify his offense to work in the SEC? No, I think he'll have to get the guys that he wants to run it. I mean, he's doing this with really 2 of his hand-picked players, and that being Chisholm and Hazelton, and I'm not sure you call them hand-picked.
Right, that had a lot more to do with who was available. I think I agree. I think you get, obviously any good coach is going to somewhat adapt scheme to fit personnel, but also in the long run, you get the players that you fit what you most want to do. And yeah, I think, I think that he will look for probably a little more speed at a minimum, and certainly an improvement on offensive line. Another third down conversion for Tennessee there, which 3rd and 1. That's not shocking, but
that's been the problem. Is a lot of their third downs and all their fourth downs have been 1 yard.
Exactly.
Whereas Missouri's looking at 3rd and 7s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Justin Ferguson says, instead of having a Jaeger bomb every time the Tigers score, I should do it every time the Vols convert on 3rd and 4th down. If you've been doing that, you might not be with us any longer.
I mean, we would be looking at this point, let's count. They have 6 third down conversions and 9 fourth down, or 3 fourth downs. Like, I don't know what your tolerance is, but I couldn't do 9 Jaeger bombs and continue.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to try.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. Dan Dorr asks, is the max roster turnover in 1 year 20? Oh, Tennessee running back is free. It looks like it will be a touchdown, or is he out at the 1? It looks like he's going to be marked down at the 1 yard line, but that's Eric Gray again, breaking free. Big gain.
So, yeah, probably a matter of time at this point, and it doesn't look like anything got drastically fixed at halftime.
Yeah, and whoever was on the edge there, I couldn't tell if it was a outside linebacker or defensive end, just got totally just went. I think it might have been Trey Williams, went inside.
Trey
and
Williams
just got blocked down.
Yep.
You got to set the edge there. That's basics of playing defensive.
No, Trey
end.
Williams went down straight inside, and Gray ran exactly where he had been.
Yep. Looks like there was no review. Tennessee tried to run a QB sneak on 1st and goal, and I don't think got it. Chris Turner actually made the play there.
I think they call that delaying the inevitable.
Yeah. But back to the question about the max. Well, maybe they did. I'm confused. Why is a kicker on the field? I guess they gave him the touchdown. But the scoreboard on my stream still shows 21-6. Oh, okay, there we go.
So Cameron Wilkins was in and Chad Bailey was in. No Nick Bolton there.
Yeah. No Nick Bolton, and as you said, the defensive end Trey Williams just got collapsed down on. I guess Jarrett Garantano got across.
Yeah, I'd like to say the worst thing is I now have to type Jarrett Garantano's name.
Yeah, that's always a challenge
on a scoring play. So
yeah.
I mean, I guess the worst part probably for the people watching this is it's now 28-6.
Yeah. I mean, this Missouri defense is just getting dominated, which is not something I expected.
Yeah, when you were gone at halftime, Mitch, I said offensive problems don't even matter. The news today is that Missouri's defense they can't win games with they're 2-8 if this is their defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably so. Yeah. There's time for the offense to get going, but yes, I mean, we said before the season, this team has to win games, or we thought was going to have to win games that were like 20-17, because there's going to be growing pains, and there's just not a lot of talent on offense. I mean, you've got an offensive line that's lost a lot, both coming into the season and during preseason camp. Your questions at quarterback. Clearly, the receivers, as we've seen in these first 2 games, have issues. I mean, just not catching the ball. So yeah, this team needed to win with defense, and this defense is, it's getting pretty much dominated right now.
Yeah, and T. Rise says it right. If it's first down hurting them, it's not third down. Like, yes, third down, they're 6 of 11, and fourth down, 3 for 3. But again, it's a yard. What's killing Missouri is Tennessee's getting 4 yards on first down. And at 2nd and 6, you can do literally anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, this is last season, Missouri's run defense was mostly solid except for missed tackles, I felt like, where, the 2 games they gave up big running numbers were Wyoming and Kentucky, and it was more so just missed tackles leading to huge plays, especially in the Wyoming game. They would, it wasn't like Wyoming was gashing them for like 7, 8, 10 yards time and time again. It was just the really big, 60 to 80 yard rushing plays. Kentucky was a little different, but they also ran on everyone. This is not even that, where you can say, well, if they just make a few tackles, this is, Tennessee's getting like, 4 yards before a guy is touched sometimes because this defensive line is just getting pushed off the ball.
I don't feel like tackling's been bad. There haven't been a bunch of missed tackles.
No,
there just
absolutely
haven't
not.
been guys close.
But that's the problem. Yeah, these guys aren't even in position.
We've got a breaking news update from Justin Ferguson. That's 5 Jaeger bombs and 4 beers thus far.
Ooh, wow. Strong performance.
6'2", 260 with a high tolerance. So we'll be seeing if Justin makes it to the call-in show. I mean, True Divinity set a high standard last week.
Yeah, I went back and watched about, I wasn't able to participate in the post-game show last week. Went back and watched about an hour or so, 45 minutes of it, and I was very impressed by what I heard from True Divinity, I'd say. I mean, if you're in COVID quarantine, I can't think of a better way to pass the time than have 20-something beers and call our show.
No, 100%. He was the live chat MVP for week 1. So we'll see how it goes.
So it is officially 28-6 Tennessee. I'd say Missouri's in trouble. That was a 92-yard scoring drive.
Here we go. Hopefully Tennessee pulls the Falcons. Yeah, that's I mean, maybe they'll hire Dan Quinn at halftime.
I mean, look,
third quarter.
You said before the game, the one thing you don't want from this game is for it to be 28-3. Like, what about 28-6?
Well, it's not 28-3.
Yeah.
No, but so. And again, you may have addressed some of this too, but somebody was asking at halftime, did we overrate Alabama? I said, no, you overrated how much the fourth quarter in that game meant.
Exactly.
Which was nothing.
I mean, even though some of Alabama's starters were playing that game, the coaches aren't calling a game like they would with the starters in. Right. They're basically running out the clock.
They're saying just don't give up 75 yards here.
I said this after the game, and I maintained it all week. That game could have been 56-6.
Yeah, no question. So, boy, that took a long time off the clock, too. I obviously missed Missouri's first possession of the second half. How'd they?
Long completion to Tyler Beatty that got him about 35, 40 yards, and then couldn't convert. They had 3rd and 5 and threw a slant to Jalen Knox that I don't want to say it's a stone cold drop, but a play he should have made. That would have.
So drop's still major issue.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Knox and Jacinto, anybody, those are the ones that stand out. Also, maybe one catch from Damon Hazelton and one from Chisholm today, I think, is all we've seen.
I think 2 from Hazelton. Let me look. Hazelton, one catch and 1 rush. And then, just 1 for Chisholm on the busted play.
Yeah. So you'd like to see, and again, we have no idea if those are guys not getting open, what the play call is, where the quarterback's at. We have no idea at this point, and obviously we're not supposed to ask, so, who knows?
Yeah, you're right. We can't. Yeah, that's a no-no on as far as asking about that.
Yeah. Roundtree, that's let me check. I think that's his 10th carry. So 10 for 57 again, man. Now the problem is you're 28-6 with 21 minutes left. You can't really feed him the ball a whole lot.
Right. Oh, there's a catch that's Knox throwing to almost triple coverage. Kind of a scary throw, but well done by Connor Bazelak.
It's you're a gunslinger if you complete those. You're a backup if you get them picked off.
Yeah, it wasn't as covered as I thought on replay. That was a nice job by Knox in finding a spot in the zone and a pretty good quick delivery from Bazelak. But I mean that the problem with having the best aspect of your offense for the most part being the interior run with Larry Roundtree, as there he picks up 6 yards. It's just you can't. You're out of time at this point to do a whole lot of that.
Yeah, I mean we're ignoring the obvious here, which is you need a defense which has been hideous to be perfect if you're going to have any chance of a comeback, and it doesn't really seem like it's in the cards here.
Mm-hmm.
When do you see changes on defense? I mean. Like, to what, though? To who?
You got to keep in mind, this is a really thin team right now. They have, I think 69 scholarship players left who after season-ending injuries and opt-outs. I mean, you don't have a lot more guys to throw back there.
Yeah, and they're already playing a lot of guys on defense. I mean, I don't know who else you want to be out there. Maybe you think Cy Martin is going to fix all this team's problems. I personally don't.
Yeah, I mean, him and Jarvis Ware obviously will be back when they're healthy. I mean, to some extent, I actually don't know that Cy Martin actually will play that much, but maybe he can provide a lift at the well, I don't think he would play the same spot as Chris Turner and Isaiah McGuire. He's way too small.
Yeah, I know Chris Turner has played today. I haven't heard his name, really. I mean, I don't know how much he's played.
Yeah. So 4th and 1 at the Tennessee 44. Obviously, Missouri's going to go for it. This is a significant play.
I mean,
looks like
you don't convert here, the game's over.
It worked. It looked for a minute like that was a total bust. It looked like Bazelak turned the wrong play, but he lobs one to Logan Christopherson of all people.
I mean, everybody would clearly have Logan Christopherson atop the list of 4th down weapons, right?
Well, it looks like either Bazelak or Roundtree goes the wrong way on a play fake, and then he just Bazelak, very nice throw, throws it over the top of 2 defenders, and Christopherson uses his size, makes a catch. That is 3 years worth of hype all coming together.
That was a heck of a throw.
It was.
But you've got to think, looking at the beginning of that play, I've got to think that's on Bazelak, right?
I mean,
turning the wrong way.
Yeah, I would think so. Yes,
I mean, it's more likely
not have come from around that other side. Yes.
Yeah, and all the motion was going to the right, so that was clearly Bazelak turning the wrong way. But heck of a throw and nice catch.
Yeah, like I said, that's 3 years worth of hype for Logan Christopherson, all coming true.
Yeah, there you go.
Bazelak on the keeper. Gets down to the 2, it looks like.
So I'm trying to catch up on comments, guys. We're just rolling them through here. Want to make sure we get most of them up, but we're trying to catch up. Everybody excited about the Logan Christopherson play. And see if they can convert it. Yeah,
so I don't know what you're looking at this point.
Bazelak just got tackled at the 7 on 2nd down. So.
All right, 3rd and goal from the 2. It's a direct snap to Larry Roundtree, and he's down at the 1. It looks like. So it's going to be 4th and goal from the 1.
4th and goal from the 1. You got to go.
That's actually one where I think Larry Roundtree would tell you he needs to break 1 tackle and score right there. Also, Daniel Parker Jr. kind of whiffed on the block.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Roundtree was close to that. I mean,
yeah,
he almost got in.
Yeah, it looks like an injury for Tennessee, so we'll have a time. Oh, it's actually Elijah Simmons. Missouri recruited him. I remember that. That's all I have to say.
Elijah Simmons, I don't know him.
Defensive tackle who they recruited at one point in my time. I think I talked to him on the phone once.
Daniel Parker feeling the wrath of the commenters.
Well, he did kind of miss on that block.
He did, no question. So, I mean, I think we're not quite past the point where you're talking about the game being over. You score here, you've got a 2-score game, and you're still late in the 3rd, but you have to immediately get a stop. I mean,
yes.
If Tennessee scores again, you're losing this game.
Yeah, and I'd say so.
That assumes Missouri gets in on 4th down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you do here? 4th and goal from the 1. Do you pound Roundtree, or do you try to get something to the edge?
I mean, I don't try to get something to the edge. Either I pound Roundtree, or I do like a little play action bootleg and try to find someone. Or I guess you could try to spread him out and do, give Bazelak the option of quarterback draw if the numbers are in his favor, or quick slant. I would probably just give it to Roundtree. He's your best player.
I kind of liked the turn and hand it to no one and then throw to the covered guy. I mean, it worked last time, but
it did. I mean, Logan Christopherson is like a giant dude. If he can, he could be a red zone weapon if he proves to be a reliable contributor.
I wouldn't mind 2 tight ends, hand the ball to Roundtree, put Dawson Downing in front of him, even maybe, because look, at some point you're going to have to line up and be able to get a yard.
Yeah.
And Roundtree's
and he's your best bet to do that.
The best player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Tyler Wynn wants to bring in Roundtree or Whiteside as fullback. I like that.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring in Whiteside, you gotta just give him the ball just for the just for the fun.
Okay, so the consensus is you run Larry Roundtree here, and this is why I like the live comments. Now, if he gets stuffed, we can't come back and say, "What the hell were you doing? You should have thrown the ball." But, like, we're all on board. The call is hand the ball off to Larry Roundtree. So.
Also, shout out to Michael Kaiser, who reminds everyone to give the show a like.
Yeah, he's
that's
way better at this than I am. I'm supposed to tell people to do that, but you know.
Yep.
QB sneak. I like QB sneak if it's inside a yard. A full yard.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Baseline's not big.
I need to see where they're lined up, but I agree. I'm not sure they're close enough for that.
And Missouri hasn't exactly gotten a ton of push up the middle. They've gotten, they've done all right, but. I don't know if. Well, True Divinity clearly
he's back.
Is right. Dude, the touchdown play, obviously.
You're right. Oh, yeah.
I thought that just kind of went without saying. That I don't know why they don't call it on every play.
All right. Well, that was easy. Pitched to Roundtree, and he's in the end zone.
So we were all right. We all clearly could be offensive coordinators. Justin Ferguson's going to do a Jaeger bomb.
Nice.
So everything's going well. First touchdown of the day, right?
Yep.
And first touchdown of the year for Larry Roundtree as well. Now, you probably already know this. Are they kicking or going for 2?
They are going for 2.
I kind of agree with that. I mean,
let's see. Yeah, I'd make it a 14-point game.
I'm not sure you have to. You're kind of chasing points, but I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Let's see. Bazelak rolls right and throws incomplete. Nice play by the Tennessee DB. Although he was throwing for Tyler Beatty, who was really not open.
Well, terrible call. Clearly should have kicked. As I said,
yeah.
From the
Also, that makes it significantly harder for them now to get to my prediction of 31-23, which was never going to happen. But
I picked 27-17. So Missouri needs a field goal and a safety, and Tennessee needs to lose a point.
Well, that we all know that's coming.
Hey, you know what? On that, I just saw the 2-point play. It wouldn't have been an easy throw, but Bazelak kind of missed Nico Hay.
Really?
He would have been throwing back across his body a little bit. But I think he was he clearly wasn't the primary read on the play. But he was underneath, and I think he could have gotten him. Florida appears to be rolling now.
Oh, yeah, 31-14. Yeah.
All right, so it's back to your defense. Like, there has to be a stop at this point. If they score points,
absolutely.
Game over, obviously. And a couple other people seeing the same thing I did. Nico Hay. It was, and look, I've been a little spoiled by watching the quarterback I watch every Sunday.
That was what just happened. It was like a half onside kick on this kickoff. You got to see this thing. It kind of didn't make sense. If you're going to onside kick it. Maybe, I don't know if Ketting just screwed it up or Tennessee's going to start at like the 40.
Oh, yeah, that's, best summed up by Eric Mullins with what the hell was that, I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I think he was trying to do a little pooch kick where he pops it over the first line and then Missouri's guys beat the second line to the ball, but he kicked it too low and too far.
Yeah, clearly.
I think he was trying to pop it up for about 20 yards.
Yeah, I think that can't have been the exact call there. I think that was clearly meant to try to get it in some sort of a hole in the Tennessee coverage area and try to recover it. Instead,
and actually, the field position is not quite as good. The 34, it's good field position, but it's not like you gave him the ball at midfield.
True. Yeah, it's only 10 yards better than it would have been. Really, 9 yards better than it would have been with a touchback. So not the end of the world.
And none of it's going to matter if they just plow up the middle for 5 yards on every play. And to be clear, Tennessee doesn't need to throw a pass on this drive. Now, this is also the perfect time for play action and go over the top and end the game with a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah, not here on 3rd and 1, I don't think, but maybe. I mean, maybe.
I was still watching. Well, why not? You just go for it on 4th and 1.
I don't think they'd go for it on their own side with a 16-point lead. I'd be surprised.
I would.
Oh, false start. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Well, that's a break for Missouri. Now, this is an opportunity they have to take advantage of. I mean, 3rd and 6, you want to get off the field here because they shouldn't be able to run for this. So
I actually would. If I was Tennessee, I would hand the ball off on 3rd and 6.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I'm going to predict a false start. There it was, left tackle. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, Garantano scrambles, gets hit pretty hard by Sparks, and it looks like he's going to be about a half-yard short. Now,
okay.
What do you think?
I go
for it.
I go for it.
Oh man, it's with only a half yard. I think I'd go for it as well. You've gotten that all day.
Are you trying to end the? You can end the game kind of if you go for it, but you can completely let Missouri back in it if you don't get it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think if it's as close as it looked live for me, well, it doesn't matter. There was a hole in Tennessee.
Oh, okay. It was. I just saw Garantano go down. It looked like it would have been about 2 to 2.5 feet.
Yeah, it would have been inside of a yard, I thought, but now it's 3rd and 16. Now Mizzou really has to get off the field.
Oh, yeah, no question. You can't let them convert this. If I'm Tennessee, I run a draw here because, you're probably not getting 3rd and 16 on a straight drop back anyway, and you're probably not getting it on a draw, but the way the running game has gone, you never know.
Yeah.
I think this is draw or screen territory for sure.
It's a sack for Isaiah McGuire. Look at that. It was probably more of a coverage sack, but
that's all right.
Yeah,
that's all right. I think that's probably the first sack of McGuire's career, right?
I am fairly certain it is. Yes.
So, hey, when the defense absolutely had to get a stop, it got a stop. That was a nice job, too, of hanging on because Garantano almost got away there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to have 28-12 at the end of 3 quarters. I'm going to jump back in and we'll do the live update of third quarter stats here. And it's getting a little closer. As far as the numbers, Missouri is no longer getting almost doubled up in total yardage. I mean, held Tennessee to 89 total yards in that quarter, so that's better. You know, Tennessee didn't have the ball for a ton of time either. Passing yards now almost even, 168, 163 in favor of the Vols. So it really hasn't been the passing game that's hurt Missouri all that much. Garantano's been fine, but it's been, Tennessee has run for 206 yards, and that's and clearly the story
has hardly even had to make a stressful throw because when he's thrown, it's been off play action after they've been gashing him with the running game.
Right. So basically what Garantano has done today is not make a huge mistake so far.
Right. But the thing is, Mizzou's really never put him in position where he could make a mistake. He hasn't had to,
Tennessee really fans would tell you there were times that didn't matter in the past.
Right. I get that. But I really think, when a team's running the ball this well, obviously, that's huge on a quarterback that has been prone to some bad throws.
Yeah. So we're looking at, again, Missouri in a situation where the game isn't over at this point in time, but they have to do everything right here. And because they went for 2 and missed it earlier, they got to go for 2. They got to score, go for 2, and get it back and go for 2 again.
Yeah, the problem now, is they were going to need 3 touchdowns and 2 2-point
Right.
conversions anyway. So yeah, I guess it's not the end of the world. They went for it earlier, but yeah, now you're looking at I mean, very kind of unlikely scenario where you get touchdown 2, stop, touchdown 2.
We're getting a question on where McGuire's from. He's Tulsa, isn't he?
Yes, he is from Tulsa.
Yes. Yeah. All right, time to build on the momentum of the offense, no question. And I agree with Tyler. Like, look, the defense has been bad all day, but they had to get a stop there, and they got a stop. So
yeah,
better than certainly better than not.
Yeah, Eli Drinkwitz did talk this week about complementary football, like not following up a stop by the defense with a 3 and out by the offense. This would obviously be a good time to do that.
Yeah, no question. About to start the fourth quarter, and well, Tyler's focused on the important things. Missouri needs a touchdown to cover. So, yeah. So, Tennessee has 22 first downs. I think if they get to 26, the game's over regardless of what Missouri does on offense, because there simply won't be any time.
Probably so, yes. Unless Missouri has already tied it.
right.
When they get those late first downs.
Which would be a hell of a comeback.
To return. Well, he doesn't get that far. But Missouri's got decent field position here, starting at their own 45, maybe 46. So,
and you're at the point now. There's no field goals. You're not kicking a field goal. I mean, I guess if you're in like
unless it's like
if you're in 4th and 11 or something,
something like that.
Mm-hmm. But for the most part, you gotta. It's going for everything at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Little I thought there was a little kerfuffle on the sideline, but I think that's just where Missouri was trying to huddle up around the coach, and there were a few Tennessee players still in there.
Ooh. Connor Bazelak looked like he took a little bit of a hit after his slide on first down, but no flag. Maybe it was a little bit of an optical illusion.
You're not supposed to be able to hit him if they slide at all, right?
Yeah. No, he might have missed him. It looked like the Tennessee player was kind of coming in hot, but I think kind of dove almost out of the way instead of diving on him.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, time not a factor here yet. You don't have to score like immediately. You just have to score.
Yeah. Wow, that was so 2nd down and 10. Bazelak stands in the face of a blitzer and throws a nice little slant to Hazelton. That looked like it gained about 20.
Haven't heard his name in really most of the day, so that's good. Mm-hmm. Hazelton, I mean, we've heard Bazelak.
I mean, a nice job standing in by Bazelak. He knew he was going to get hit.
And pretty interesting there. I mean, he's going with that was a blitz against minimum protection. Missouri had 5 guys out in that route because Roundtree motioned out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've certainly seen quite a bit to like today from Connor Bazelak.
So I'll be interested to see if he's the starter next week.
I will too.
I
will too. Mm-hmm. Oof. There was just a high throw to Kit Chisholm that he maybe could have caught, but ended up dropping. But very close, also close to an interception. That one is one of those where you miss high and hard over the middle, and the ball gets tipped up in the air.
Flutters.
Yeah, but no interception. Chisholm also took a hard hit.
I'm posting this Scott Clark comment because I assume it's an autocorrect that says China has to pull that in. So. I like that. Yeah, I mean, catchable, but a tough catch.
he's going up. He knows he's going to get hit, and it's coming in at 100 miles an hour, which makes it tough.
I don't think that goes down as a drop.
No, not like some of the other ones we've seen, at least.
Looking back, it was an easier catch than I thought, but
yeah, it's not in the same realm as the first Knox drop or the Jacinto drop.
Right, but
someone called a timeout. I don't know which team because I have no audio, but yeah.
Yeah, Eric wants me to get cable for the rest of the season, but I don't know. I'm good. Just finding out from you guys. We'll see. I'm definitely not getting cable. I might be able to find a faster way to stream, but I'm not getting cable.
Yeah, if you all want to pay for us to get cable, that would be okay. Should we start a GoFundMe?
A GoFundMe for my cable.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about coming in. I don't know how this is going to work with streams being at different spots, but I don't know. I think if you're dedicated enough to watch us, right, you're certainly watching the game.
Right. Yeah, and that's the idea here is we're just hanging out. We know everybody's watching it, and it's not going to be simultaneous, but we're doing the best we can. So, are you working?
But I do still like the GoFundMe idea.
Just not even for cable, just for the hell of it.
Well, if anyone wants to contribute to cable or any other of my needs, they should have the ability to do so.
Good to know. All right, let's see what Florida's doing. Florida now 38-14 in covering, so it appears they will survive.
Yeah.
And again, this is why we put way too much in week to week results. Yeah, Tennessee barely got by South Carolina, but they won. So that doesn't mean that they're a terrible team because they managed to win the game. So
Yeah.
I've already completely forgotten the situation. It's what, 3rd and 1 from the 40-ish?
It is third and 1 just across midfield.
I don't really need to see the surprisingly great performance from Kyle Trask. It's not that surprising, but whatever.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 3rd and 1. Mizzou not only converts but gets about 10 yards. It looks like with Roundtree.
They might have wanted to save 8 of those yards though.
Yeah.
Let's look at Roundtree's numbers. 17 for 81 and 7 of those for 30 yards in this quarter. So I like that Drinkwitz, didn't panic, stuck with him. He's going to get his 20 carries, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've done a pretty good job of getting him the ball, especially when you consider game flow after the first 2 possessions.
Right.
And, that was kind of part of what went wrong in those first 2 possessions, especially the second one was getting behind. Oh, pick. Well, that is not ideal. That was just a bad throw, it looked like, from Connor Bazelak.
Oh, yeah. It was behind Daniel Parker, who really wasn't open, right?
I'm going to watch a replay real quick.
Fortunately, there was not a big return or anything, though.
Daniel Parker was kind of open if he gets that ball to the sideline.
Not open with that throw.
No, he means that ball needs to be over his head, leading him out toward the sideline.
Yeah, let's see.
It should absolutely be known that interception that happened because of my father. A known hex just texted me mere seconds before the game. Before that play, Bazelak has looked really good today.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that was one that you want to loft that he just threw on a line, and
yeah,
it's a good play by the defensive back, undercuts the route, but it wasn't really a difficult play. I mean, I'm not going to blame Daniel Parker for not chasing down that guy. He's a 260-pound tight end,
Yeah.
And it was a good play by the defensive back. There are a lot of guys that don't make that play. There are also a lot of guys that don't make the back shoulder catch that Tennessee made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Adam Sparks is a guy where if you can get a big receiver on him and throw a jump ball, like Adam Sparks' strength is not his size. He's a small dude. That should be all day.
Corner's getting roasted. I mean, Josh Palmer has 4 catches for 71 yards. Tennessee's thrown for 190.
Yeah, and almost all of these throws have been off, play action when they're gashing them with the run and the corners are on an island. Yeah. I mean, you're going to give up some of those one-on-one completions.
Yeah, I wouldn't at all say the corners have been bad in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, certainly that throw was not what you would like to see from Baselak. I still think he's played well enough to. I mean, we'll see. He's going to get at least one more possession, but yeah. I think he's probably played well enough to earn a start next week.
Yeah, to be 1A as opposed to 1B.
I clearly the story. By far the most interesting thing is going to be who plays quarterback for Mizzou, and let me tell you, Eli Drinkwitz is just going to love addressing that on Tuesday.
He's also going to have to address, can you stop a running back? Because they've not done that all day. Tennessee now. 43 carries for 221 yards. And if you take away Garantano's 8 for 13, they've got 35 carries for 208. That's well over 6 a carry.
Yeah.
They're 17 yards from having 2 100-yard rushers.
Mm-hmm. I should have noted earlier, by the way, that Bolton did come back in the game.
Yeah.
So that's good.
He needs to address Walters. Look, he kept Walters. That's the defensive coordinator. He's going to be a defensive coordinator all season.
Yeah.
We can't start firing guys in week 2. I mean, they're supposed to be 0-2. They're going to be 0-2, guys.
Definitely, especially after this offseason.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and the story of the game's been Tennessee controlling the line of scrimmage. No question. No question.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
This is something we talked about. Whiteside was definitely a beneficiary of Jordan Elliott. I still think Kobe Whiteside's a good player. But absolutely, he benefited by playing next to a second-round NFL draft pick.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. That's just penalty on Rakestraw there. That's a tough one. I didn't think that ball was catchable, but he also basically just tackled Josh Palmer there. Let me see it on a replay.
I thought he jumped.
Oh, no, he didn't. That's a bad call. I don't like that call at all, actually. No, you're right. Looked like Palmer just kind of went to the ground on his own almost. Yeah, that's a tough one. At this point, it doesn't really matter, but...
And that's also simply not a catchable ball. Yeah, that's a bad call.
No, not at all. It's not even close to catchable. Rakestraw is not thrilled. Rakestraw is just screaming at people.
Yeah, it's just anyone who will listen.
Yeah.
That was a bad call, though. No question.
Yeah. Drinkwitz is letting the ref know now.
Did we have a timeout or a penalty before that play?
I don't know. All I know, I have no audio. I just know Drinkwitz is out onto the numbers yelling at the refs.
I mean, he can't be asking for a review, can he? That's not a thing, right?
I think so. It's not in college. I don't believe so.
You can't even do that in the NFL anymore.
Right, because it was a disaster.
So basically, it appears that Drinkwitz was so mad that they stopped play, right?
Maybe. I don't. I mean, without being able to listen.
No timeout, no penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a feeling he'll be super happy when he talks to us in about 45 minutes.
Probably not thrilled.
I don't think he's super happy to talk to us anytime, honestly.
Well, no, we are out to divide the team.
All right, so first and goal from, the 2? Yeah. Second and goal from the 2, though.
Yeah, a decent play by Cam Wilkins there.
Wilkins and Bailey. Interesting that Bolton's not in here.
He's back in after that play.
Okay.
I think. No, I think he was in the whole time. I think they have. I think they have
Three
all
linebackers?
three in. Yeah, in the short yardage look, they probably subbed out Manuel for a third linebacker. Oh my! This Tennessee guy refused to go down. It just got hit so hard by everyone. You got like 3 straight guys just like pop him in the helmet, and it very impressive to stay up, but he did not get in.
Ugh. Yeah, that looked painful. I'd be bad at that. I mean, also, he probably outweighs me by a good 60 pounds, but 50 pounds. Also, he has muscle. Tennessee burning a lot of time, though.
Yeah. Garantano with the sneak. It looks like they're going to mark him short. I would got to think Tennessee's going for it here, but this is an opportunity for Mizzou for sure.
You go for it, though, because worst case scenario, you don't get it, and then they're on the 2-inch line.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, this is a situation where it shows some, shows something if you get a stop. Although, truthfully, the right play here is to kick a field goal because it ends the game. Makes it a 3-score game. It's impossible for Missouri to come back. The right move is to kick a field goal.
Yeah, and then also I think Garantano got in there on 4th down.
Oh, yeah, he was in easily. Yeah.
But, yeah, no, that's what I was saying when I was like, I mean, I guess they'll go for it, but it probably doesn't make sense. But it doesn't matter if you can. I mean, when you're on the 2-inch line, I guess you take your chances.
Right, especially because they've gotten it pretty much all day. I mean, they're 4 for 4 on 3rd down now.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, on 4th down. So, I get it. But just from a math standpoint, the right call was actually to kick the field goal. So 34-12. Look, Tennessee's going to win. It'll be shocking if they don't cover. I think we're going to see a lot less of, they fought hard this week.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't fight hard, but last week I think everybody went in with the understanding they aren't winning, right? There were Missouri fans who I think expected to win this game. Now, can...
Well, I know they were on our message board.
Yeah, you can argue how realistic that was, but they were there, Mm-hmm. So I think there will be, I don't want to say anger, but there will definitely be more disappointment on this one. And Eric's right. Look, 2 things can be true. 12 points aren't enough to win the game. Like, the offense didn't do enough to win the game. But they didn't lose this game because of the offense. They lost this game because the defense has given up, let me check, 223 rushing yards. I mean, that's problem 1A on the list.
Yeah. No, we've said it all game long. We said it since the first, 2 drives of the game. The defensive line has been getting pushed off the ball. They've been getting dominated at the line of scrimmage, and that should be the strength of this team. They're not built to give up a ton of rushing yards and have to catch up, play from behind. So, I mean, I think I think that's going to be the number one topic of conversation, along with obviously who's starting at quarterback coming out of this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got about 7 minutes left. Mitch, I think you're going to go get started writing up some post-game stuff. I'm going to finish out here, and I'll see you on Zoom in about, 30 minutes.
Sounds great. It was fun hanging out with everyone.
All right, man. Thanks. We'll talk to you in a while. Okay, so I'm sticking here with you guys. Mitchell's going to get some of the stuff done on the site. As far as, instant takeaways, things like that from the game. So just keep taking the comments, all that. I'm going to stick here until the clock hits 0. I'll update the stats, jump off, go on post-game. Then we will start the post-game show as soon as Drinkwitz's press conference is over. We're going to be taking your calls. The number will be on the post-game show the whole time. If you want to write it down or put it in your phone now, if you're interested, it's 573 888-234-4935. Please don't call us yet. Wait until we actually start the post-game show. Offense is serviceable with Bazelak, but the D is a joke. Yeah, but the offense has 12 points, too. Like, they haven't done enough to win the game either. Like I said, defense is problem one today. No question. But the offense is also not good enough right now. But the defense, I agree, disappointment today. No question about it. Doesn't mean they can't be good, but not good today. Stryker brings up a good point. The wide receivers had a lot of drops. That hurt. Certainly that's on the list of questions. So, yeah, definitely want to thank Mitch. I think this was a better show when there's two of us. Look, he's going to go to home games, so he can't really sit in the press box and do this with me. But it is kind of a different dynamic and a different way to go about it when we've got two of us on a road game. So enjoyed it. Enjoyed having him on here. Hopefully you guys can put up with me for the last 6.5 minutes or so. And see, this would be a close game if it weren't for mistakes. Yes, but you can't, like I would be good at golf if I didn't hit one in the trees and then miss a makeable putt. I mean, good teams don't make that many mistakes. Missouri's made a lot of them. Huge penalties. Terrible in the run defense. A pick at a bad time. Good teams don't do those things. So, yeah, if Missouri played perfectly, it would be a close game. That's the other problem. If they played perfectly, they should win. I don't know if Missouri wins if it plays perfectly. So I understand what you're saying, not trying to jump the comment, but you can't just say, except for all the bad things, we did pretty well. But there were a lot of bad things and too many bad things. Look, this game has to be termed a disappointment. I mean, I said the goal was give yourself a shot in the fourth quarter, and Missouri didn't do that. They were down 28-12 at the start of the fourth quarter. And everything would have had to go perfectly to have a shot, and now they're down 35-12. I need to change the scoreboard, and they don't have a shot. So, game's a disappointment. I don't think there's any question about that. Long way to go. Yep, good old Dan's right. Appreciate you watching, Dan. Appreciate everybody watching. Got a few more minutes to like, to subscribe, all that. What are Walters and Brick's contract statuses? I'd have to look them up. I want to say Walters has a 2-year deal, but that could be incorrect. I don't know off the top of my head. Again, maybe but you got to get to the offseason before you start firing guys. Like, I guess we can talk about it now, but I don't really see what the point is. There's 8 more games. What if they have a really good defense for the last 8 games? Sometimes teams have bad days, and I'm not saying they will. I wouldn't expect they will. But the conversation of every game can't be who do we fire for this, of every loss. It can't be. It doesn't work that way. Now, if the next 8 games are like this, is Ryan Walters going to get fired? Yes, I would bet he would. But we are 2.5 months from having that conversation. To be quite honest. T-Ry's good point. If we had scored more and allowed less points, this would be a close game. Also, yes, I agree with that analysis, and I certainly appreciate that. I'm going to move things around here just a little bit so that we can bring the schedule in to take a look at. That game next Saturday against LSU is an 8 p.m. kickoff. In 2 weeks, it's Vanderbilt. I don't remember if that one's been set yet. LSU certainly took some lumps, but you can't feel great about that at this point in time. So in all likelihood, Missouri can be 0-3 with Vanderbilt coming in, and that's a game you got to win, no question. I don't know if it's fair to say not enough fight in the players. Maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe Tennessee just has better players, right? Nice little throw to Damon Hazelton. No, I'm with you guys. I didn't see it after week 1. I see it now. Connor Bazelak's the quarterback, and he should be the quarterback going forward. I'd like to see Drinkwitz, stick to some, like publicly say, this is my guy. I don't think he will. But that's what I'd go with. Play calling, again, they had what should have been a one-play 86-yard touchdown drive not happen because of a drop. So overall, the play calling has been fine. I mean, they've got 324 yards, ran for 210, or thrown for 210, run for 118, 33 runs, 21 passes. I don't have an issue with it. Connor Bazelak, 11 of 17, 210. But play calling's been fine. Defense hasn't been, and they just need to take advantage of things a little bit more. But I don't have a problem with the play calling. T-Rise offering to take over for Forde as the color commentator. I think we're good for now. I do appreciate it. But I think we're okay. Happy to see my team on the field and improvement going forward. I'd be very happy with 3 wins this year. That's a good viewpoint. I agree. I don't think you should ever really be happy with 3 wins, but this year's kind of different, and yeah, I think you have to understand how it works out. And again, another comment on the quarterback. I agree. I think it's time for Drinkwitz to come out post game and say, look, Connor Bazelak's the guy. He's going to start next week, and he won the job today. I don't know if he will. But yeah, we'll see. And yes, Bazelak did run a triple option offense in high school. He is not a guy that has thrown the ball a lot, which makes it even more impressive that Barry Odom's staff, identified him as a guy they like. And so, not that they were the only one. He had other offers, But yeah, Damon Hazelton over on the sideline. I can't tell if he's pointing to his collarbone. He might be. Not sure. Good point by Cal. I have not seen Barrett Bannister today. Doesn't mean he wasn't there. Maybe he just didn't play. I don't know, but I haven't seen him. I also really haven't seen Dom Jacinto since the drop. He may have been out there. I just didn't see it. Tyler Beatty's done some good things. I like his long-term future in this offense. I think it might take a minute to find the role, but he's got 5 carries for 15, 2 catches for 44, so that's 59 yards of total offense. If you can get him up around 75, 80 per game, I think overall you're pretty happy with that. That's again, I know I'm a little behind you. I'm kind of surprised I didn't call Connor Bazelak down on that drop snap, but I didn't see. Maybe a knee wasn't on the ground. Okay, Stryker says Bannister has been on the field, so I guess maybe he just hadn't been targeted. I haven't seen him. Obviously, Missouri in 4-down territory if it's necessary here. Not necessary. He picked up the first down, but you'd like to get in the end zone here. That'd make it 35, somewhere between 18 and 20. I guess you'd probably onside kick. But again, the garbage time fourth quarter points to either cover or make it close to covering, or that's gonna run out on how valuable that is, obviously. And again, I don't have the volume up. I can't say what Eli Drinkwitz has been unhappy about. I don't know if you guys have a little more insight to it than I do. All right, so we got a Mizzou timeout here, and tell you what, let's see if this is going to be a 30-seconder. Might be. Okay, I tell you what, folks, I will be back in just a minute. Take a quick break. All right, so we are back. Want to get to some of the comments and questions. Will there be a question about not using timeouts at the end of the first half? Honestly, probably not. We get him for like 8 to 10 minutes, and not using the timeouts in that situation had no effect on a 35-12 game. So you just got to pick and choose, what you're going to be able to ask about in an 8-minute press conference. And I just don't think that had a big enough impact on the game that we probably ask him about it, honestly. COVID season is pretty meaningless. I mean, it is. You still want to win as many games as you can, but I agree. Overall, nobody's being completely held to task on some of these results. I will definitely watch Georgia-Auburn if assuming, we're not still on the air taking calls at 6:30. I don't know. I don't think we will be, but I guess it depends on how much people want to talk and how upset people are. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about the defensive line and the run defense. That's a big picture issue that gets asked about after this game, no doubt about it. I mean, preference for questions is generally given to people who attended the game in person, which obviously is not me or Mitch for this one, but yeah, that's definitely a thing that's going to be asked about. It looks like my stream has. Oh, no, now we're just talking to Lane Kiffin. So, okay, now we're back to the game. All right, so we got 3:13 left. It's 3rd and 10. Again, you guys may be maybe a step ahead of me, which is cool if you are. Look, the result of this one is decided. It has been decided since, I would say, since Tennessee's opening drive of the third quarter. Really, both teams' opening drive of the third quarter. It was 21-6. Missouri didn't really go. It had one play, then didn't really go anywhere. Tennessee went and scored. At 28-6, this game was over. That was a nice little one-handed grab by Larry Roundtree. It didn't really lead to anything, but it looked cool. So I'd say at 28-6 is when this thing was, yeah, you're done. And that's now 2 weeks in a row where the opposing team has scored at least 4 touchdowns before Missouri's gotten in the end zone once. And that's obviously not what you want to see. That's last week was understandable. This week, a little bit less understandable. Seeing a few penalty issues pop up now. So I'm not sure how you false start on 4th and 9, but whatever. Looks like that was on Bobby Lawrence, at least based on the fact that the camera is isolating on him. If not, it's kind of mean. I assume you still go for it here. I mean, I don't know. 50-yard field goal to make it 35-15 seems kind of pointless. You're not going to punt from here. I'd go for it. And now we have a timeout. Again, there are people in the press box quite angry about how long this whole thing is taking. But whatever. I'm fine. I'm just hanging out here with you guys. So, South Carolina has scored a couple times, draw within 38-24 of Florida. I don't think probably that's still super in doubt. Just 9 minutes left, but Gamecocks at least making it a little more respectable in the only other SEC game that is going on right now. Tennessee got a tough little stretch there. Georgia, Kentucky, Bama. I don't think anybody's feeling sorry for Jeremy Pruitt, but, yeah, Skyler, the game was over, you're right, at the interception at 28-12. But realistically, I thought at 28-6, Missouri was going to have to be perfect, and I didn't think Missouri was capable of being perfect. And true, yes, theoretically, Connor Bazelak will have 4 more years to play after this year. Let's see what he gets done here. Hey, take a shot. I like it. Probably the throw was to Kiki Chisholm a little bit shorter, but on 4th and 14, hey, I'm okay with taking the shot across the field. Not a big deal. Okay, looking ahead, would you say 2 wins between Vandy, Archie, and South Carolina is a reasonable expectation? I've said all along, I expect you beat Vanderbilt, you beat Arkansas, and I think you pick up 1 more somewhere. Whether that was Tennessee, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Look, I don't know exactly who. I think they find one more, and I still think that. I think they'll find another one. Somebody saying Hazelton looks injured, and he looked like he was pointing to his collarbone when he went to the bench earlier. To me, Tennessee now at this point, it's just going to be a matter of adding the whatever the final stats are. I mean, Missouri has I can't tell based on this graphic if Missouri has timeouts or not. I don't think it really matters. I don't see why you'd use them. So I'm going to go into our stats page here while we're doing this and just kind of leave this up as I update these as we go along. So we're done about the same time the game probably is. Missouri ran for 126. Threw for 218. That's 344 total. And individually, that was Connor Bazelak 13 of 21 for all 218 and a pick. Sean Robinson 1 for 4 for 0 yards. Rushing, Larry Roundtree 18 for 84. Tyler Beatty 6 for 19. Jalen Knox 1 for 13. Bazelak 8 for 11. And Hazelton 1 for 3. And Robinson 3 for -4. Obviously, can't quite update Tennessee stats quite yet because they have the ball and are still adding to them for the time being. Missouri did have the one turnover. Tigers had 15 first downs. Tennessee had 26. Has 26. And appears that it will stay at 26. That is, as the Vols now are taking a knee. So it's going to be a final of 35-12. Tennessee goes to 2-0 on the year. Missouri is 0-2. MU plays at LSU 8 p.m. next Saturday night. And Tennessee finished this one running for 232 yards, which is obviously the story of the game. I mean, you're not going to beat many teams giving up 232 yards on the ground. Offense had some issues, not great, but clearly they lost this game based on the run defense. Tennessee was the better team. That's really all there is to it. So, again, 35-12 is your final. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this. I'm going to hop on to Eli Drinkwitz's press conference. I'm going to record that. We will come back on the post-game show. As soon as that is over, we will play Eli Drinkwitz's post-game for you guys. Then we will start taking calls. So appreciate everybody hanging out with me and with Mitchell Forde during the game. And I hope you'll come back. Again, number will be on the screen during the post-game show, but it's 573-234-4935. We'll be back in, I'm guessing, the next 30 minutes probably. Hope to be on the air by 2:40. So thanks for everybody hanging out here. Thanks again to Call Gentry Law Group, callgentry.com. All your legal needs. Chip Gentry down in Jefferson City. Give them a call. Look them up online. And we'll be back with the Boulevard Brewing Company post-game drink in 30 or so.